lovely touch from him though. Harry Kane, Lucas Moura, can you do something, please? Last chance, Matt Doherty! Oh, you shite! There could be from the dead to the don't fuck it up now, don't fuck it up. Go and win it. Let's go for chance. Stephen Bergwijn! Stephen Bergwijn's through! Win it, Stephen! Come on! Yes! He's won it! He's gonna win it! Oh my God! Oh my God! We did it! Arsenal thought they'd won it. Hang on a minute, let me start that again. Hang on. I'm going to start this whole thing again. Come back to me. No, you know what? Fuck it. I'm going to play it in a second. I just got something happening in the background. I can hear myself twice. Let's do this now. I've got it sorted. The echo's gone. What a terrible fucking start. Let's start again. Arsenal thought they'd won it, but they may have crowed too soon. I gotta stop this. I've got this echo. This is a fucking nightmare. It's exactly what I didn't want to happen. Ladies and gentlemen, I'll do it later. How's everybody doing? I can hear myself. Why can I hear myself? You know what? I'm sorry. I got to do this better. I'll be back in 2 seconds. All right. Okay. I've sorted it out now. What a fucking shit show. Oh, my God. Well, that's been about the worst fucking start to a show I've ever seen in my entire life. Ladies and gentlemen, there's all sorts of problems. What's crack-a-lacking? I'm going to bring everybody into the show immediately because I can't even begin to imagine how embarrassed I am right now. It is Tuesday. It is the 2022 version of May the 17th, and I'm Sean Butler, although I wish I could put myself under a rock right now because that was a horrible start to a show. I can still hear myself. What's crack-a-lacking, people? What a day to be a Tottenham fan. I'm bringing the boys in so I can measure myself. Ladies and gentlemen, please give it up for the first guest of the show. Where is he? Here we go.
All right, next contestant, spin the wheel again, please.
This is a fucking disaster. Ladies and gentlemen, please give it up for the man, the myth, the legend, the only guy in all of Tottenham that used to have the audacity to put numbers in his name and now is the guy that has, just like everybody else, numbers in his name. His name is Cuban99. Oh, don't be a prick and put your... Oh my God, this thing is an absolute shit show start. I'll play the song later instead. I've had people coming in.
Got me sold. You just end it now. It's fine.
I was trying to. What an absolute disaster. I'll play it later.
Is this a second line something about Sean forgot the words? Or...
No, it's not that. I had the YouTube link playing in the background, and the thing was like 4 seconds delayed. Whatever.
Yeah. We'll go for that excuse then. Okay.
Oh no.
Where was my doorbell anyway?
Well, I did the guest selector instead. How you doing, mate?
Doing well, thanks. How can anybody not be doing well if they're a Spurs fan today?
100%, mate. Well, I feel like I'm not doing well right now. I feel like I've just embarrassed myself on live TV. It's like one of those one of those absolute shit shows.
Seems to be a popular thing. There's like at least 11 people did it last night.
Oh, really? What happened last night? Oh, you mean the Arsenal game? Fucking hell! I need a drink. I haven't had a drink yet. I'm gonna have a drink in a second. Let me get the next guest on, ladies and gentlemen. I'm so sorry for this ridiculously embarrassing start to the session. I'm gonna measure myself in a split second. Ladies and gentlemen, the next guest is coming into the house. He's coming in. He hasn't been on for a while, but let me tell you guys. There's 30 people already in the house. You're gonna want to see this one. Because if the other two guests that I think have confirmed that they're coming, if they turn up in the next 5 minutes, it could be fireworks and spicy. And that's because of things that were said, things that weren't said, promises that were made, promises that haven't been kept, and flip-flopping. This show should be sponsored by Crocs for the amount of flip-flops it's going to have on it. It's going to be fun tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, let's get the second guest on.
All right, next contestant, spin the wheel again, please.
Ladies and gentlemen, we've given up. But the man, the myth, the legend, the only guy in all of Tottenham who's known as being Harry Kane's #1 fan around the world and also Ireland's #1 Tottenham fan. He's going to be sitting in the red corner tonight, or the green corner, I should probably call it. Ladies and gentlemen, it's Dave Harris from the Irish Hotspur. How are you, Dave?
Absolutely buzzing. First of all, it's great to be on with yourself and Kuve again. But look, I want Mr. Postbox to turn up. You know, the poor man oozing expressions, you know, going around giving it large all season long about West Ham, Leicester, you know, Tottenham are crap, this, that, and the other. But get yourself on here, brother. I've been looking for you since yesterday. You know, nowhere to be seen. Get yourself on it. But look, Sean, I also want you to have another crack at that song. It's the time for it. Let's go again. Give it to me.
No, I'll do it at the end. I'll do it at some point throughout. I don't know what fucking happened. I don't know what happened. Shitmyself.com.
Go again, my man. Go again.
It will happen. Ladies and gentlemen, it's all good. Let me before we get going. I'm not going to do that right now because I don't want to. If I fuck it up again, then the whole show is for me. I'm just suddenly going to sit back and go, I can't do this. So I'm not going to do it right now. I'll do it later on. Let's find out who's in the chat. There's 35 people already here, and we're already 8 minutes in, guys. Usually by 8 minutes, I haven't even got through my like welcome monologue thing. But because of
everyone's here to listen to the song, man. Everyone's here for the song.
No, they're not here to listen to the song. They're here to listen to some people giving out their rationales for why they said what they said and how they feel about what's happened in the last 24, 48, 72 hours. So I thought
it's going to be an easy show for me, so lad.
Fuck, I'm so happy that of the 36 people that are now here, only about 7 of them, I think, maybe were watching at the time of the start of the show. Nobody go back and watch the start of the show. Promise me. Let's see who's in the house. Ladies and gentlemen, Alex Hilton's in the house. Hello, Alex. How you doing, my friend? Good to see you, buddy. He's always here saying steak. Good to see you, my friend. Hope you're well. ATX7 Gaming is saying 1 more point and Champions League, here we come. Just absolutely spot on, my friend. Absolutely spot on. Good to see you, my friend. Good to see you. We've got Coover in the house as well. He's already here. We've also got SOF in the house saying good afternoon, everybody. I call it good evenings, SOF. I love your comments in my videos, mate. I love your comments in my videos. You always give me pause for thought and develop the conversation. So it's really cool. Brian C. Socrates in the house. LA. Sean, bring on the game day on Sunday. We need to finish the job. We do indeed, Brian. I love you, my friend. Also, I did get your text message via Dave, and I will make that song for you. I just won't do it live. I'll do it. I'll send you a video or something. Lee from the lane. What's happening, Lane Lee? Good to see you, my friend. How are you, buddy? Saying, all right. Alex Hilton saying, Sean, for fuck's sake, clearly he saw what I did. He was waiting because I fucked up. Irish Hotspur's here saying, he's in the house, but he's saying, yes, Sean, here, let's go. Yeah, couldn't manage it. Couldn't handle the pressure. A bit like Arsenal last night, I guess. Yeah, I did forget the lyrics. King Hoddle, the intro to this channel has given me a stiffy. Nice.
King Hoddle.
Yeah, appreciate that, King Hoddle.
Some
Cooper's
people are
1-0.
entertained.
Lee from the lane, wankety wank. That's about as much of a job as I did on the show. Lisa Odell's in the house. No, those are the good ones. I'm not sure which ones are the good ones, Lisa. I can't believe I've done that. I really can't. I'm so ashamed of myself. If I could, I would just close the stream right now. But it's embarrassing. So we're not going to double down. Who else we got? Born to Lose 73. I want an encore.
Yeah.
Stop it, guys. You're winding me
I
up.
told you this is what they were here for, my man.
Fucking hell. I got beetroot. I have got that. I'm actually really hot as well. I'm really, really hot. I need the heat. I've got these lights on in my room, and it's
Not too hot on the guitar and singing front, though.
I'll sort it out. John N. Evening, Elton Shaw and Kumasevsky. I'm never going to live this one down, I can tell. Fuck's sake. DB's in the house. Evening, boys. What's happening, DB? Good to see you, my friend. Chris is in the house. You forgot Brighton, David.
Yeah, look, there's so many clubs this season that are better than Tottenham Hotspur, supposedly. I mean, it's hard to keep track. That's why I keep saying that he should keep changing the goalpost every week. I don't even think he knows who he supports anymore.
Hopefully he's joining us soon. It is 6:15. Let me just double check he hasn't sent me anything.
He's probably waiting for the song.
If that's what it takes, I'll do the song again. Aaron Doyle, yes, people. What's crack-a-lacking, Aaron? Good to see you, my friend. Actually, I don't think I've seen you before, Aaron. So welcome to the show. Appreciate you, mate. Big up, Bob Spurs in the house. Big up, the average people. Great start to the show. Fuck it. It's the last laugh I'm going to do to that right now. Louis 2705's in the house. Big up. Top 4 almost guaranteed. I don't see us messing up on under Conte. Only 1 point. We're going to talk about that, mate. We are going to talk about that. Chris, Shawnee Boy, Kuva, Mr. Harris, Lee from the lane saying hello to Aaron. Soul Taker 212. I think that's how you say his name. Sean, the video was top class. Thank you, mate. I appreciate the video. Was better than the live rendition. I need to figure that one out. Gaguma's in the house. Big up, Gaguma. Good to see you. How you doing? I haven't done a show for a while, so it's nice to see everyone back on the live stream for a while. Who else haven't we said hello to yet? Matt C's in the house. Shartetta and the Goof Troop. Very cool. Very cool to see you, my friend. Holly Agumba's in the house. Wow. Holly, I haven't seen you before in here. Privilege. Thank you for stopping by. I hope you're well. Anyone else? Have I skipped anyone? Scott Hynam. Big up to all in the chat. What's crack-a-lacking? To you, Scott, and Tottenham. Dermot, how you doing, mate? Arsenal get battered everywhere they go. Arsenal get battered everywhere they go. They do indeed. They do indeed. Bobby K's also in the house saying big up the flat cap champs and everyone in the chat. And have I said hello to Brian Socrates? I think I already have. Okay. Oh, no, there's more. There's more. Paul Mansbridge. What's crack-a-lacking, Paul? Yeah, apologies about the song, mate. I'm not going to react to it anymore. It is what it is. I fucked up. I'll do better next time. Fucking hell. I knew it was going to work. I knew it wasn't going to work. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, I think there's somebody else at the door. There is. Who could it be? Who could it be?
All right, next contestant, spin the wheel again, please.
Ladies and gentlemen, please give it up for the man, the myth, the legend, the only guy in the world probably with a six-pack on his index fingers. You know him as Mr. Levy Out, but he's not Mr. Levy Out anymore, not at least until next Sunday. And surely tonight he can't be anything about that. We're going to find out how he feels, though, over the course of the next hour. Ladies and gentlemen, please give it up for Brian Daigle. What's crack-a-lacking?
What's up, people? I have to say, that new entrance thing, you've gone through another glass ceiling, my friend. That is a wicked, wicked intro, my friend. A very good intro. How is everyone?
Well, I'm terrible. I'm not doing as good as I planned it to be.
Why are you terrible?
You obviously missed the first.
Sean's recovering from his own intro.
Okay. Okay.
Trying to sing a song. I had the YouTube audio still in the background. That threw me off. Then I forgot the lyrics as a consequence. Then I went beetroot red. And then I put the guitar down and thought, I'm going to back away from this endeavor altogether. I'll try and do better. But yeah, it was awful.
Nice.
Yeah, man. Yeah. How you doing?
Mate, I'm fantastic. I'm absolutely fantastic. Listen, regardless, like you said, regardless of where people sit or whatever, the way this season is ending is probably one of the most glorious ways to have a season written off. And to be able to clinch top 4 on the last day of the season from anyone, you'd choose this lot, wouldn't you? You would choose this lot. And the way they were 2 points up, now 2 points down, doo-dah. You've got to say that it's just someone is writing this unique fairy tale. And it
feels a little bit like 2019 at the Champions League when we got away with the VAR finally helped us, against Man City. And then what happened with Ajax, it all kind of feels like the kind of ducks are aligning a little bit,
To me, Sean, in all honesty, this is bigger because it's against the filth. That puts huge clout on it. And anything that we beat the filth at, tiddlywinks, anything is what I would want to win. So the fact that we're doing it over the filth is just incredible.
Fantastic, mate. Well, and you know what? We're going to get into that. We're going to get into also Norwich. I'm actually going to start with Norwich because I know what's going to happen when the 5th member is going to join. All bets are going to kind of fall off from the plan for the show. So whilst we don't have him, and I'm going to keep an eye out and make sure he hasn't let me know that he's not coming. No, he's come. Wait a minute.
I've just thought of a good intro for Brian now, and I'm not hosting anymore. Typical.
Before I bring in the next guest, let me just take the chance to say that there's 50 people watching on YouTube. And guys, this is my first live stream. So since I hit 1,000 subs, right? So not that I would feel like I'm not asking anyone for it, but the opportunity is there if you do want to have super chats. If you do, I'm guessing today that there is going to be a lot of spiciness. So if anyone in the chats does want to get anything specifically read out, then the super chat thing is there. It's the first time I've ever asked. I feel guilty even asking, but at the very least, please hit the like button for me. And before I do bring him in, Guguma, I've just seen, has actually given me the first super chat via a super sticker. I love it. I can't actually see it. How do I see it?
It's a fox with hearts. If you go onto YouTube,
it's a fox with hearts.
Yeah.
Guguma, you've broken my cherry on live streaming. So that's a big up, Guguma. I love you.
Don't let him off so easy. Sing for cash. Come on.
Ladies and gentlemen, though, before we're going to get any further, you know what? I didn't even get a chance to get into the questions. So yeah, I'm going to bring him straight in. Look at the numbers already shooting up. I can tell there's something's happening. Something's happening. Who could it be? Who could it be?
All right, next contestant, spin the wheel again, please.
Ladies and gentlemen, you might know this man as Mr. Bang Average. You also might know him as Mr. Box Office. And anywhere in between, ladies and gentlemen, he's like the arch nemesis of Dave, the Irish Hotspur, in all of the chats in the WhatsApp groups around the country and the world. Please give it up for Mr. Alex Davies. How are you, Alex?
Honestly, I don't know what the hell's going on with the Tottenham fan base at the moment, man. Honestly, the most deluded lot I've ever heard in my whole entire life. And actually now I'm saying it now. Honestly saying it now. Honestly saying it now. I can't believe what I'm hearing. We're literally talking like we've won a trophy the way we're going on yesterday. Honestly, it's pathetic. It's absolutely pathetic. Honestly. It's like some people haven't seen Champions League in their whole life, for goodness sake. Honestly. Bloody hell. I mean, it's just, what the hell's going on here? Well, I mean, some people just need to wake up, for goodness sake. What the hell is going on?
Alex, how are you was the question. How you doing?
Boy, it's just, I just to get straight into it. I mean, you've got David Harris. He's jumping up and down like it's like Happy Days. You know what I mean? Let's sing the Happy Days song. You know what I mean? Honestly, pathetic. Absolutely pathetic.
Oh, well, before we get into that,
we got a bang average on Sunday, by the way. Absolutely bang average. You know what I mean? Couldn't put a pass together. Could not get a pass together whatsoever. And then all of a sudden, we're starting chatting like, oh, Arsenal won. Arsenal lost yesterday. Arsenal lost yesterday. Arsenal are absolutely pathetic. They're not even that good. I mean, Jordan, what is it? Jordan from Talksport summed it all up perfectly. They're not good for top four. None of them are good for top four. Next season, it's going to be a struggle next season. For goodness sake, I've never heard such absolute waffle my whole life. I've got to be honest. I'm sorry. Sorry, Sean.
Okay, Alex, before I appreciate how you feel, but before we get into the specifics, I just want to, because I want to kind of structure this. I know this is going to get mad and off topic, but just how do you feel? Well, let me start with the first person that came on, because I've been talking so far. Alex, bear with me. Kuva, how do you feel right now? Like, taking everything in. I'm guessing, let's just go back from the Arsenal game. It's been a while since I've done a live stream. So everything's changed, right? I said it last time. I think I was on my own stream, at least. I said, nothing's done. The flip-flop, like there's so many twists and turns left in the season. Like, it doesn't matter where we are. Like, there's going to be more, and there has been. There's been loads of twists and turns. So as Kuba, I know that you were someone that at the start of the season was super, like, benign at best. Kind of like you almost walked away from the community around February time. You'd had enough. Then you came back. And when I was feeling a little bit glass half empty, you were coming through with this massive positivity that was just overwhelming. And I haven't really had a chance to catch up with you since the Arsenal game, at least on this channel. How are you feeling about what's happened in the last, let's call it week and a half. Let's call it 10 days.
Well, I'll start off with saying, welcome, Alex. Always a pleasure, mate. You always make a good entrance, man. Part of what Alex says is actually true. It's not a trophy, is it? But when you, in the long scheme of things, where we came from earlier in the season, when Nuno was here, 10 games, we're sitting mid-table, directionless, got no chance. Yeah, we needed teams to slip up and not be their usual selves. Arsenal haven't been great. United haven't been great, and so on. But that gave us an opportunity, and it looks like we're taking it now. So why not be happy about that? Because we got something out of nothing. That this season's been turned around for us. Partly our own doing, partly their own doing. And at the end of the day, it's end of the season. It's 38 games. You're judged over the season. So we've been better than them if we finish above them. That's it. End of. Let's enjoy it. Why be so miserable?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Fine, mate. That's absolutely. I appreciate that perspective. Dave,
well, can I just say one thing? Because there's I just think it's going to be very, very quick, because there's a gooner in here who thinks it's funny to write how many days since our last day that we've won a trophy. Yeah, you're technically right. You're technically right. It's been a very, very long time since we won a trophy, and we all hold our hands up to that, and we all agree with that.
I'll be honest. I thought that was a leave out guy.
No, it's not. It's not. But what we don't do is we don't go onto Arsenal fan channels and go how many days it is we've been above you in the league, where you said top four is a trophy. So I had this with We Are Tottenham TV. These are what Arsenal fans are doing. They're coming on and going, oh, you haven't won a trophy. You haven't won a trophy. Well, you're the team that made top four a trophy. It's not a trophy, but you made a big deal out of it. And the Arsenal fans feel they're so I don't know what's going on with them. They think the best thing they can do right now, instead of like keeping quiet, is go onto a Spurs channel and talk about how. So Tottenham's Day was a whole thing. Whereas on the verge of being 6 years in a row that you haven't finished above us. So go and focus on your own team. And then we'll deal with what we need to do. You know, that Champions League, the elite footballing competition.
The buying of all the best players in Europe. Yeah.
Yeah, it may not be a trophy, but it's finishing higher than you, and that is a fact. So long may that continue.
Well, I appreciate Arsenal fans. I don't think I've ever had a troll come onto my channel before, apart from that sex chat guy, that robot, the sex chat robot that comes into the comments every now and again. So yeah. I appreciate you, bro. You know, you can come and spend as much time as you want on my channel as you like. It's fine. 6,000 days or whatever. Before we go to Dave,
to be fair, the Arsenal fan, he needs to get in practice of finding something to occupy himself on Tuesdays.
And Wednesdays.
Yeah.
Before we go any further, guys, I got my first DB. Oh, wait, no, sorry, it's Bobby K first. I do apologise. Bobby K, he's saying your super chat cherry has also been broken. I love you, bro. 3 Spurs boys. Bobby K, I love you, man. That's awesome. Thank you so much for the support, my friend. I really appreciate you, buddy. Really do. Despite my terrible intro, I let myself down. I let everybody down. I'll do better. And DB also, mate, your super chat slut. I am a super chat slut now, I guess. Yeah. Spank me. Mate, I really appreciate it, man. It's amazing. I don't know. I feel awkward with the whole super chat thing because it's new to me, but I super appreciate you, DB. Amazing thing to do, man. Thank you so much. Dave, tell me, just before we get into I know this is all going to go off the hills in a minute. I just want to get a little bit of a brief bit of kind of, coordination here. How you feeling right now? Like, I know you never doubted it, but are you feeling relieved? Are you feeling empowered? Are you feeling like you want to like rip your shirt off and say, "I told you so"? Where are you at?
I'm calm, but I also want to rip my shirt off and say, "I told you so." I mean, I said it all season long, but I don't want to say I told you so, but I did. I told everybody. I predicted it. Sometimes you just got to sit back, relax, and be calm. I do want to address something else before I go into that, though, is, look, I think we should all applaud Alex for his best, Mr. Postbox for his best oozing expressions, impersonation. He really turned his heart and soul out there. Poor man oozing down there. Do not be fooled by this guy coming in here saying, "Oh, it's not a trophy." If anyone remembers back when I used to debate the guy on We Are Tottenham TV, it was me having to tell him top 4 wasn't a trophy. But what I will say to people out there is, it's the best we could have hoped for this season. It's the best we could have hoped for. So you've got to take joy in it, especially at Arsenal's expense. And I'm absolutely buzzing. I'm elated. And I'm just nice and calm, Sean, because I expected it, to be honest. That's why I rearranged my fan show for today in anticipation that all this capitulation of Arsenal was going to happen. I've said it all along about Arsenal being young, naive, and a bit of a kiddies crash over there.
Yeah.
With Pep side bitch, the Cone man at the helm. I knew they were going to crumble. So inexperienced, they couldn't handle it. But look, what I will say is, before this goes any further, I actually do like Alex. Me and Alex do get on.
I know.
But what I do know about the guy is he wouldn't find joy in Hugh Hefner's mansion. Let's be honest about it.
They'd be complaining about the drapes.
Yeah, no, there'd be loads of blondes, and he'd be like, "Boy, like brunettes, bro. What's this? Bang average, bro. Bang average."
All right. Well, you know what, Brian, stay there because I want to give Alex the right to immediate reply on that one, and then
Fair play.
You give me 2 seconds. Brian, what do you want to say to Dave?
You mean Alex?
No, wait, sorry, Alex. What do you want to say to Dave? Sorry, Alex. What do you want to say to Dave?
Oh gosh, I don't know whether I don't know what to say there. Do I believe in being calm or what? What to laugh on that? Honestly, being calm. Oh my gosh, David and being calm. Oh, not really believable. Anyway, moving on. Yes. So to be honest, I do agree with you about Arsenal. Yes, they're absolutely rubbish. I said they're bang average anyway, so it's not really a big deal there. So you haven't woken up anybody on that one, to be honest with you, really. In terms of being happy, yes, I can be happy, but at the end of the day, like I said, it's realistic. It's just like I said, truth hurts. We're not very good. Kane FC. I said already, Kane FC. You can say whatever you want and put your chats in all that, but I can see the chats at below you about what you just said to me there. But like I said, it's not like I said. We'll see next season. Conte stirred the ship. Some of the stuff that I was hearing on We Are Tottenham TV, and I'm not going to mention who said what they said about Paratici, and I'm not going to talk about him because everybody knows what I feel about him. It was a joke. It's over the top, clutching at straws. Literally clutching at straws. It's all about Conte.
I don't think
it's all about Antonio Conte.
No problem. There's no problem.
And the thing is, the thing that really makes me laugh about the whole thing about Paratici, they're saying, "Oh, give him all the. He needs to do all the deals. He needs to do all the deals." Obviously, haven't watched his history at Juventus. Then, obviously, not watched his history at Juventus, because he wasn't doing all the deals there. I can tell you that for a fact. Not doing the final deals anyway. People are saying Daniel Levy's not going to get involved in this. Really, Brian? I think you're getting a bit of what? I think you're getting a bit of a nostalgia here. Hearing this. You know what I mean?
Brian
about someone doing the deal.
Say something.
I think you've got something going there, yeah? I think something's warming up right now, isn't it? You know? About Daniel Levy not doing the deals, bruv. Not Daniel Levy not doing the deals.
Yeah, but you can
Interesting. Very interesting. He'll be doing the deals,
hold
all
on,
right. The final deal.
Hold up, because that's all irrelevant, right? But let's get Brian. I'm gonna let you answer the initial question, was how you're feeling, and then I'll let you lead with the second question. The second question is, like, let's on a presumption that we get at least a draw, right?
Yep.
We can talk about whether that's going to happen or not, and that's not particularly an interesting conversation. But on the presumption we get the draw and we qualify for top four, I'll let you lead it out however you want, with the open-ended question of what does this change for Tottenham in terms of where we go from here. You can talk about Conte, Kane, you can talk about Sonny, you can talk about the players we're going to sign, the caliber, wherever you want to go with it, take it away. But also tell me how you're feeling right now.
Yeah, I'm going to even go feeling right now. I'm going to give you a grand feeling of how I'm feeling right now. Over the moon, mate. Over the moon. Listen, if you told me before the Liverpool game and I predicted a draw, that from being 2 points or from after the West Ham game, from when Arsenal beat West Ham, we're all starting to think, right, that's it. It's just we shot ourselves in the foot. This is just, I don't think we're going to get through it. That would have been a lot of people's thought, just like the luck's not going our way, whatever. But people like David and people like Bob never doubted it. Now, I was down it for a
hang on. David, Bob, and who?
Oh, sorry. I forgot you're the hostess with the mostess, or host with the mostess. Let's add you into that as well.
Thank you.
Obviously, I started building after Aston Villa. I thought, do you know what? There's a chance for them Brighton and Brentford. I was like, oh, here we go. But obviously, the way this has panned out, and you know what's like my good friend Lee said as well, and some other people, it's so much sweeter the way that this has happened. We thought they'd done their job by beating up Manchester United, by beating Chelsea, going on this run, and then obviously they capitulated at the lane. Burnley, we got the job done. That was all that was needed. It didn't need to be glitz and glamour or champagne and skittles. It just needed to be a win. We got the win. And then Newcastle was just was incredible. And again, I even predicted the score right for Newcastle. I knew it was going to be a tough game up there. What does this change? Well, it changes the fans' outlook and puts the fans this summer in a very positive mood for being Champions League. Let's face it, like David said, it's the Champions League, and getting involved, whether you like it or not, whether it's a trophy or not, the Champions League is the elite level of football. You're not going to hear a single bad word, even by Kane's brother or anyone like that Harry Kane wants out, that Harry Kane wants to leave. Harry Kane, that's put to bed. Everything is put to bed. Can we now attract a better caliber of player? You're damn fucking right. Will they come? That's what the dilemma is. I mean,
why would they not come right now? Why would they not come?
Well, mate, there's loads of things. I mean, obviously, it all depends on A, the finances and the package they get offered, and B, just because we're in Champions League, there could be a Man City and Liverpool going for our player. There could be a AC Milan going for us. So it's where they want their future to go.
Yeah.
But I put a tweet out today, and a few people commented on it, and I hate when people do this, because I put a tweet out, and immediately they think, oh, here he goes, he's leaving out again, he's doing this again. Where that weren't what I was getting at. I said, listen, now the top four is kind of assured, let's say, City have made a huge move already. We know it. Huge move. Aston Villa have gone and signed Coutinho.
Yeah.
They've made a move.
I saw
Liverpool, all right, it's only the Fulham guy. They've made a move. We were asked, or you guys back home were asked, to give the transfer money in early. So funds are there. Why can we not start making moves? And that's what I was getting at. Now that this is done, what I want to see for Conte, whether it's Conte doing it, whether it's Paratici doing it, whether it's a combined effort, start making your moves now. Start now. There is no excuse. It's not, oh, you can't sign players now because obviously players are doing it. It's not.
Why?
Oh,
You should have done it in January, Bob. You should have done it in January, Bob.
Yeah, but it's not, wait a minute, we need money to come in. It's not we need money to come in because the money is there already. Plus, you've asked 60,000 people to pay their season tickets. So the money's there. Start making moves now. And listen, this summer, which is meant to be the big summer, let's see. I want players out of the club signed, sealed, delivered in June. And a majority of our business done in June. Like Conte wants, like Poch wanted, like Jose used to do. Yeah. So everyone has the pre-season to get to the standard of the manager, so everyone is singing off the same hymn sheet.
Okay.
And let's just hope we have it.
Love that, Brian. Very reasonable and rational response, mate. Because I know that you obviously didn't back Tottenham to do it. Obviously, you and I have had bets on the side.
I'm delighted to be wrong. I know. I will come on all the channels. I said we wouldn't get top 4. It looks like we are. I was wrong. I'm man enough to say I was wrong. But you know what? As I've said with the whole leader, I'm fucking delighted to be wrong.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Because there's a few people in the community. And Alex, I'm not putting you necessarily into this bucket. There's people that aren't here. But I'm happy. I won't call them out. But on my chat, I shouldn't call them out. I almost called them out the other night on other people's channel. I shouldn't. But on my channel, I'm happy to do it. There's people in the community, in the YouTube, on the content stuff, that will be negative, and they like to celebrate when we win, like we're all in the same boat. And then the second that we don't, they like to celebrate being right. And it drives me up the fucking wall because I don't want to celebrate with those people. And Brian, you're coming on and you're saying I got it wrong and I couldn't be happy, and I appreciate that. But other people are like trying to find that one little fucking clip that exists somewhere where they said, "Oh, maybe we're going to get top 4," and they'll point to that and say, "No, I was always on board."
Well, you know the thing, Sean. And David will vouch for this because David has known me the longest out of everyone on here. When I'm wrong, I will always say I'm wrong. I have no qualms or issues ever admitting I'm wrong. And the thing that I'm getting proved wrong on are things I want to be proven wrong on.
Yeah,
that's the thing. So I will always come on and own up to it.
But you're still. I know because of Paddy Hartnett and you can't. You're in this like kind of limbo period where you're not allowed to really say what you feel about Levy. I get it. Listen, this is like there's an embargo for the next hour. If you want, you can say what you want about Daniel Levy. I want to come to Kuva now, though. Kuva, like you were also someone. I know you hate Daniel Levy, right? I know how much you want him out of the club. Do you? Like, there is now no excuse. The perfect thing about this scenario is if we do get the point against Norwich, at least, is that there is no excuse now. There's not like, oh, we could have had, if we finished top 4, we could have had an extra 50, 60 million, whatever, 100 million, whatever it was. But because we finished in 5th, we don't have it. Daniel Levy has literally no excuse now. He's got as much money as he possibly could have made this season, in reality, coming in through revenue streams, through additional TV money, through prize money guaranteed. And if Frankfurt win tomorrow night, which was part of the second verse of my song that I didn't get through, but if Frankfurt win tonight, I don't know if you guys are aware of this, but I'm pretty certain that I'm right in saying, and anyone in the comments, correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure that the coefficient thing has changed so that if Rangers win, under the new changes, Tottenham don't even have to go into a qualification round. We qualify outright, which gives us 40, 50 million immediately just for making the group stages. So if Daniel Levy now has no excuses, right, outside of like economical changes like inflation or recession, whatever, but that's not going to happen in the next 2 months necessarily. Do you back Daniel Levy? Kuva, simple question. I'll start the question now, so you're not going to accuse me of a 4-minute question. Do you back Daniel Levy to do what's right? Or do you think he's going to fuck it up for us?
Well, trouble is we got so much history of him fucking it up for us, haven't we? We have to get over that hill somehow. The question is Conte and our Conte and Paratici a big enough duo with enough personality to change the attitude of the chairman? Possibly. We'll have to wait and see. I think the proof of the pudding isn't going to be how much money becomes available. It's going to be at the end of the transfer window. If Conte's still with us, does he appear happy with what happened in the summer? And it doesn't matter if we spend 30 million or 230 million. It's all about if he's happy with what came in. If that's the case, he's backed, isn't he? And the money's a moot point then. It's getting the right players in. And You got Paratici there. He's got a reputation for getting the free transfers in. I know you make a point of saying it's not actually free. You have to always pay the extra, like signing on fees and everything.
Well, about 50 to 60% of the whatever the fee would have been is usually baked into agents' fees and things. Yeah.
But anyway, there are some players going, as we know, some players going without a huge transfer fee. If we get some of those, they're the right sort of players. They can fit in. I mean, Kulusevski and Bentancur, they weren't breaking the bank sort of signings. I mean, nothing wrong with getting a few more players of that kind of caliber in to improve the first team squad. But with the extra Champions League money, yeah, there's no excuses. We can splash big if we need to. So if the opportunity's there, take it. Just like top four. So let's see. It's Levy's been called out basically. Nowhere to hide now.
Okay.
So let's see what he's got.
And do you on like a, I don't know, a scale of 1 to 10, like do you think we're going to see a new Daniel Levy, Kuba, or do you think we're going to be here in July and June when Brian's over and there'll be protests outside the stadium because we haven't signed anybody or whatever?
For my own sanity, I'm going to have to say we're going to get a new Daniel Levy because I just can't do any more of this. The usual transfer things. But I mean, 20 years of it, it's very difficult to turn a blind eye to that. Can a Leopard really change their spots? Perhaps if they're scared enough of Conte. I don't know. If they're scared enough of the fan reaction if Conte walks because he's not happy with things. Yeah, he's up against it. There's the backlash. He knows it's there if he gets this wrong. So let's just have a bit of hope that he can actually pull the rabbit out of the hat for once.
Okay. I love that, man. Love that again. Very rational. Before I come to Dave and to Alex, I know they're going to take the conversation off on a tangent, no doubt. Before I get there, let me just quickly shout out Mark Scrumpy Cousins. This is all I can afford. Can I have some change? You can have any change. I'll get it back to you, bro. When I meet you for a beer, I'll buy you a beer instead. But I really do appreciate the support, my friend. I love you, man. And that's it means the world to me that you would do that, man. I really appreciate it. And Gaguma again. I haven't got the. Has anyone got the chat up? Can they show me what the? Is there? There's not a thing there, is it? Is there a?
No. That's she's got a comment.
Oh, top panel. Congratulations, Sean. 1,000, Sean. I really appreciate you, Gaguma. Much love. I'm going to learn some Korean. I'm going to speak to Will Stewart, who'll teach me how to say muchos gracias in Korean, unless anyone knows on the panel. But thank you so much. It means the world. Dave, what are your thoughts, mate? How does this change? How does finishing top four change the scenario for Tottenham? Can we kick on? Where does it take us financially? You know, I mentioned on my blog today that there's probably 11 players that we probably don't need in our squad, or we might want to get rid of with an average value of 20 mil. Not suggesting we could get rid of them all, but in a dream world scenario, if you could sell them all with 200 million quid after the money that's coming in from the Champions League, plus whatever else Levy's got, you know, what difference does this make to Tottenham's futures next year? Well, what do you see happening in the summer? Give me your dream world, give me your real world scenario.
Yeah, look, Sean, I've said for a long time, you know, that even bringing in Antonio Conte was a change of things to come at Tottenham Hotspur. You look at the amount of players he got rid of last summer. You know, his last signing of the summer, Romero, was bang on the money. He's our best centre-back by a mile. In fact, he actually makes people love defending. He's been that good of a signing. I said in the January transfer window, the window was a 9 out of 10 and it'll be enough to get us Champions League football. Again, everybody laughed at me. But what I done is I took myself out of the immediate stuff and I sat back and I analysed it properly. And we were learning. We've been learning from our previous mistakes. So we've got in quality over quantity, which is what we were doing under Steve Hitchen. We were bringing in quantity with low quality just to fill the gaps. Whereas this guy has come in, he's made 2 quality signings from Juventus and it's completely changed the tales of our season. And I mean, look, Alex can do all the showboat and stuff down below. But at the end of the day, I've been proven right with performances on the pitch. I won the battle and the war, my man. But look, I have.
Love it.
But when it comes to, you know, this summer now, getting inside top 4 was crucial with one reason. It's purely because what would have been the difference between us and Arsenal would have been that Champions League. But me personally, like you look at Arsenal now, they're going to be so far set back. They've been lucky this season. They've had one game a week. They went out the FA Cup early. No European football. It's masked. What's really going on at Arsenal. They're sitting there with Nketiah up top instead of Aubameyang. And my point that I'm making is that big players that have the know-how that will get you goals, do not want to play under Arteta. They don't respect them. That's why he's got rid of the likes of Aubameyang and stuff like that, because they won't do what he wants. So now that we're inside top four instead of Arsenal, they have nothing to offer players but throw cash at them. So now they're going to be in a situation where you're going to see them now, the likes of what we've gone through with the likes of Ndombele, Lo Celso, where we've overpaid for players, put too much money down, and they haven't come here hungry. But now this summer, and I truly believe, as well, in the January transfer window, Paratici got rid of Dele Alli, Lo Celso, and Ndombele, which a lot of people are moaning about, saying it leaves us short. And I'm like, okay, I get that. But at the end of the day, Conte has to have people that want to come into this place and work every single day of the week in training. Everybody has to be pulling the same way, otherwise no manager at Tottenham Hotspur stands a chance. So he cleared the decks to give Conte a chance. And what that does is it sends out a message. It doesn't matter how much we bought you for. It doesn't matter how much we pay you. And it doesn't matter what you've done for the club in the past. We will get rid of you if you're not going to turn up to your workplace and put your best in every single day to grace that pitch on a Sunday. And that's what that has done. And this summer, now that we've got a lot of the decks cleared, look, I believe with Lo Celso, you will be able to sell him now. With Ndombele, someone will end up taking a punt on him. We've got rid of Ali. There's places in this squad. There's more going to go, the likes of Winks and stuff like that. And I believe we will have a good summer transfer window. I'd like to see 5-6 players in here. Now, look, this summer it's all on Daniel Levy. Everything's been done by the fans, the team, the management. They're all on one wavelength now. Now it's over to the chairman. Now it's what is your true ambition? Now we'll find out, because there is one man to take this club forward to the next level, and that is Antonio Conte. He has proven that he can get results off the bigger teams. Okay, you're going to say, what about low block teams? But it's easier to rectify that problem rather than it is to be able to compete with the big teams. And in order to win trophies, go deep in the cups, you're going to come up against Man City. You're going to come up against the Liverpool. We're unbeaten against them this season. Yeah. And for me, it just goes to show that he has their number, and that with the right signings this summer, there can be success at Tottenham Hotspur next season under this guy, Antonio Conte. Now it's over to the chairman. I think he will back Conte. I do believe it. But look, only time will tell. And I just want to say Alex can do all the shenanigans down the bottom. But
he's going to come in now. He's going to come in.
Tottenham's proved me right. They love me. Tottenham love me.
Yeah, listen, Alex, I've got to be honest, mate. You're gesticulating a lot. I want to bring you in now. Unmute your mic, bro, because I want this panel to be an open forum. On a lot of other channels, it's just like everyone just jumps in whenever they want, and I want everyone to feel that they can. So, like, just come on, Alex. Come in, baby. Come in.
Well, I'm here. I'm just sitting there, just listening to David trying to do his motivational speech. Honestly, bloody hell, I've never heard such absolute waffle in my life. Honestly, my gosh.
Why is what he said waffle?
The thing is, he keeps on talking about Arsenal. If you think that, if you're basing it on Arsenal at the end of the day, you really are touching at straws, really, because you're not going to get nowhere. You're not going to get nowhere trying to base yourself on Arsenal, because Arsenal are bang average, bruv. You want to be trying to base yourself on Liverpool and Manchester United and Manchester City, bruv.
You were comparing us to Arsenal early on in the season.
Yeah, because we're bang average as well, bruv. Without Kane, we're not that great. We're still not that great. You know what I mean? It proved it on Sunday. It got through it. Thank goodness we got through it, and I'm happy we got through it, because Burnley are average, and we should beat Norwich. Were you
happy that Newcastle lost? Newcastle won last night.
Well, to be honest with you, I'm not really that bothered. No, because if Tottenham are good enough, they can do it on their own merit. And that's it. I'm not bothered about Arsenal losing yesterday. But I knew they were going to lose yesterday because they're average. You know what I mean? That's it. That's the way it is. The fact is, they've had one game a week. They've had one game a week, and they're messed up. But then I'm not going to banter the Arsenal fans on the Tottenham channel when I can banter them on another channel and banter them easily. You know what I mean? Because it's easy work for me all day long. I've done it on the Gals channel easily. You know what I mean? So I don't need to do it. I don't need to banter them.
Banter the Tottenham fan. Banter the Tottenham fan to your top right.
David's just chatting absolute waffle. He says, Pratici did this, Pratici does that. I mean, honestly, like I said before, it was Marotta did most of the work. Marotta at Juventus did most of the work at Juventus to get those signings over the line. It's going to be the same thing in the summer. So that's the thing. So if people say Daniel Levy needs to step up, Daniel Levy needs to step up.
If Paratici didn't do it, who done it? Casper?
No, it's because of Antonio Conte. And the thing is, though, the whole thing with Romero, yes, he's world class. There's no doubt about it. But the thing is, though, he was the defender of the year. So it's not difficult to find the defender of the year, isn't it? So I'm not being funny. You know, I'm not going to give him credit for that one. Definitely not, because he's been buying him for every single club. So I'm not going to give him credit for that. I'm not going to give him credit for 2 rejects either. You know what I mean? Because they still need to do more for me as well. As far as I'm concerned, they still need more work as far as I'm concerned. Until next season, I'm not saying nothing. To his credit, they're doing better than the other rejects at Arsenal, Odegaard, who's the ultimate reject, and I stick by my statement on that one as well. But I'll ban Arsenal fans on that one next time.
Let's get this straight. He accused me of talking about Arsenal, and now he's doing it. So I mean,
here we go. But like I said before, and I still haven't got that apology, David, for what you said about Davis, because Davis is playing well now, isn't he? Oh, he's a first team player now, isn't he? Where's the apology? Where's the apology? Where's the apology? I need the apology. Where's the flowers? I need the flowers. Where's the apology?
Give him a chance.
I'm going to speak now, and then I'll hand it off to Sean. I'll stay quiet. First of all, I am apologising to absolutely fucking nobody. I call absolutely everything this season. Second of all, okay, I still stand by it. Davies, Dyer still need to be improved on if we want to win trophies. Now, Alex, you talk about trophies, but then you talk about
trophies. Yes,
is Davies going to win us a trophy?
I think he will.
No, he's not. Which is the very first thing I said coming on when I first started YouTube was about Davies and Dyer. And I also want to say is I'm not apologising purely because Paratici has done everything that he's supposed to come and do. And I'm not apologising to a guy who wanted Harry Winks in the team. They wanted Dele Alli in the team this season, which if they were in the team, we would have failed. And I'm not apologising to a guy that I've had to listen to big up Brighton, Arsenal, West Ham, Leicester City this season. And Tottenham wouldn't get
It's true. That is true, Alex.
So if anybody owes an apology,
Proof hurts, Bob. If they won the Europa League, Bob. If they won Europa League, Bob, it would have been better than Tottenham all day long, Bob, yeah? They're in the Europa League next season. If the Europa League next season, do you think we're going to win Champions League next season, Bob? Do you think we're going to win Champions League next season? Because we're in Champions League next season, Bob, aren't we? We're in Champions League next season because you should beat Norwich, isn't it? Are we going to beat winning Champions League next season? Are we going to win Champions League next season?
Do you think that is there a possibility that we could have by September the 1st or August, whatever the start of the season is, August the 15th, that we could have a better first 11 with a better manager and a better stadium and a better all that stuff than we did in the 2019 season when we got to the Champions League final? Is there a possibility that this summer that much could happen where we have a better squad going into the Champions League season?
I'm not too sure. I need to see it before I believe it. As far as I'm concerned, I'm not too sure. I'm really not too sure.
Okay, well, let me ask the other two guys, the other Levy out doubters, the other guys. Do you, Kuba? I'll come to you first. Or Brian? Well, hang on a second, if you don't mind. I think Brian's looking like he wants to jump in. Do you think, Brian, that we could have a better first 11 than we did 2019 season, 2018-19 season under this?
Yeah. I mean, first of all, I just need to say now, normally I let trolls just troll and be stupid, but this one is just asking for me to lay the smackdown on him. Tottenham out. He's got his name now as Tottenham Audi Cup, whatever.
Oh, the Arsenal guy.
Tottenham, the Audi Cup merchants. This is a guy who supports a team who can't even win the Emirates Cup in their own stadium. So I'm just going to leave that there with your name there. So honestly,
love it.
That's the banter. We've gone from how many days without a trophy? But let's not talk about how many days St Tottenham's Day's been over for. And then you want to come in with a name about an Audi Cup, which, yes, we won, and we don't ever talk about, just the Arsenal fans talk about. And you want to bitch and moan and be funny about an Audi Cup when you can't win the Emirates Cup in your own fucking ground. So good one.
He might have changed his name again, or maybe there's a new one in.
Yeah,
my laugh.
Well, I'll look forward to that, and then I'll just destroy his name once again. So yeah, look, the question was, can it be better? Can it be better than our? Can it be better than our 2019 season?
Yeah, could we
going in?
create a team by
Let's
next
look at
season,
this figuratively. And this is me with my big Levy hat on. Levy out hat on. Thank God Cody's not in the building. Levy out hat on. Is Conte a better manager than Pochettino? Yes. Is the stadium better? Yes. Have we got more finances or more flexible income because of what that stadium has brought? Yes. So all the things that you've asked there, everything lines up to yes, apart from the common denominator. This is the thing, and I think even Levian people can see that and say that everything is geared up for it. And we've all said, everyone that's Levy in, Levy out, he's got nowhere to turn this season. This season, he's got to flex his muscles. He's got to come out and do something. The question is, and I've said this on other streams, I've looked at this. I think, Sean, you were on the stream with me. I think I was actually on David's stream when I said it. I think this whole summer, and when we are Tottenham TV started talking about he wants assurances in Conte, do I think that the financial muscle is there? Yes. I believe the funds are there, and Sean, you're the finances one. The finances are actually there is income to spend. I don't know, like I've always said, Sean, where you and me are yin and yang, and not in a bad way. You speak from the finance side, which is a blind spot for me. So that is where I'm kind of out, and I speak purely from my heart, with the pure passion and rage that this man has caused me. So do I think the finances are there? Yes, I believe they are. Do I think the quantity of player that Conte wants, and we've all heard this magic number of 6, do I think that is open for debate? No, I think he's going to get that. Where I think it is, it's twofold. This all lies on twofold, and big up this man. I think it comes on, will Conte be able to get the players he wants for right now? That's where I think there is debate. Will he want? We know that we don't sell a player over a particular age. Will Conte be allowed to do this? Because he'll know the player that will fit in his system, have the mentality, have the attributes, and be ready to go to war for him. That's where I think a debate is. And the other debate that I think where it is, and we all keep talking about, and I've fallen foul of this as well. We all talk about this big summer being just incomings. This summer, of course, it has a lot to do with incomings, but it has a hell of a lot to do with outgoings as well. And not just outgoings as in the type of player we want out, is will Antonio, let's use Harry Winks for an example, where last season Levy wanted 40, or reportedly wanted 40 million, which we all knew was nonsense, absolute nonsense. Let's say he wants 25 million for him this summer. I'm just figuratively speaking. If an offer of 17.5 million comes in for him, and Antonio Conte says, yes, sell, get him out of the club, I can use this 17.5 million towards this, will he be allowed to do it? No other manager has been able to get players out that door at a knockdown value. Loans, yes. Knockdown to what he wants? No. And I think there's a major pull in it. But the question you asked about 2019, is everything geared up to be better than what we were 2019? Absolutely. Absolutely.
But Brian, just a question, yeah?
Yeah, go on, brother.
I understand, and to be honest with you, I think you're right on that sense. You know what I mean? Because you're gonna have to look at it realistically. You're gonna have to look at it and think, yeah, if you're not using Winks, you're gonna have to sell him. Yes. Don't get a big head, David. By the way, by me saying that, by the way. But yeah. But the point I make is that deal for Dele Alli was stupid. It was
Yes,
stupid.
Alex,
was
I'm
really,
completely
really
with you with
stupid.
that.
Regardless,
And the
regardless
reason,
whether you, regardless whether you,
He
you
got the
know,
wage. He got the wage bill off the.
well,
Off the
that's no, that doesn't make the point. The point is you've got a homegrown player, okay? Because we are struggling for homegrown players at the moment. You can talk about the youth, but the youth is a mess as far as I'm concerned because they're not coming up yet. They still need a pathway to, you know, to get the experience to be able to handle that sort of pressure. You know what I mean? Because as you see with Arsenal at the moment, with all those youngsters, you know, look at how much pressure they've been put under, and look how they've crumbled. You know what I mean? So, you know, for me, the fact that we haven't got that sort of
If Everton was the only person that was interested in Dele Alli, and they said we are under strict conditional restrictions because of financial fair play, which they were, and they said we want him. You want him gone. We literally can't pay you anything right now. So if there's nobody else interested, then he stays at Tottenham. But if you let him come to us, you get 100 grand or whatever it is a week off your wage bill. Plus, if he plays 20 games for us, you get 20 million. If he does really fucking well for us, goes to 40 million. Like
you know,
you're missing the point though, Sean.
I might be missing your point, Alex, but you're not necessarily aware of the circumstances in which Dele Alli was desired. He might not be wanted by any other club.
Sean, I'm sorry, but when you're saying that to me, what's going on with Birdvine then? What's going on with Birdvine then? Because I'm sorry,
Alex. Alex.
Alex,
Just before you got about Bergwijn, I just want to touch back on Ali before we switch player. The thing I don't get with that Ali deal, I think it's an absolutely ridiculously stupid deal, unbelievably stupid. And people will remember, and David again will vouch for this. I kept saying, listen, if I get near Dele Alli, I'll swing him by his dreadlock, and wherever he lands, they keep him. That's how quickly I wanted him out of the squad. But what I think we should have done is had him on loan.
Yeah.
And then obviously you get him off the wage bill. Like you said, it gets 100 grand off the wage bill. And then have a stipulation if you play these amount of games. But to give him away, yes, I think we need to. Don't get me wrong. I wanted him out. He was number one that I wanted out. Cheers, Daniel. I wanted him out so quickly. But it got to the point you've got a homegrown player there. Yes, his career has gone completely off the beaten track, and he's ruined himself. It's sad to see what he's doing to himself. But you could have sent him on loan, brought him back, and then tried to get him out for some money. But to just say, here you go, have him, and if you play these games, we know what happens. Like with Galini had to play a certain amount of games, and if he went over that, and it happens with all football teams. I'm just using Galini because obviously he's there. If he had played that, let's say it was 15 games. I think it was 15 games. When you get to 13 or 14, you're like, right, we can't play you again because then we have to pay money.
Can I just?
So Everton could have easily done that, and that's why I'm pissed off with how he's allowed the deal to go.
I just want to add a different point of view to the argument. We're also talking about a guy that put a TikTok up. Why we lost this season. We're also talking about a guy that sat there on Instagram going, touch your cap if you want Jose out and stuff like that. That's a guy that doesn't want to be at the football club. So I couldn't give a fuck about Dele Alli. I'm glad he's gone. At the end of the day, I care about Tottenham Hotspur. And if he's doing that shit and we're losing, and he's taking wages and he's there to do something about it and hasn't, well, then why are we even sitting here talking about him? He didn't want to be here in the first place.
David, what I'm saying,
I'm not sure what, but I genuinely don't know necessarily if any of us know what the ins and outs of that contract
That's the point, though, because the thing is that we can't say anything because the thing is, though, I've had to go back on myself on Mourinho, by the way. Yeah, but I don't want to go into that. But my point is about the Dele Alli situation, okay, and it does link to the whole Birdvine situation. I'm not trying to move on to the conversation about another player, because there is a reason for it. He said he trusts Birdvine, yeah. He trusts Birdvine, yeah. He's not played him the whole bloody whole half the season. He's not played him for half the season, and he's been better than Moira all day long. I said after I gave up about him being in the team anymore because I sat there and thought he's going to play Moira. He's going to play Moira, but he's been 100% the best player going. Yeah, okay. And when we were struggling, right, All he was getting was 5 minutes, 10 minutes, and all this. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Now, I totally respect Antonio Conte because at the end of the day, I don't like his football. I've got to be honest. The football side of things, I'm still trying to get used to it. I've got to be honest. I think he needs his players to see whether we get the full whack of it. I've got to be honest. But I do respect him that he sticks to his values. That's one thing that I hope we move forward when he goes, that he sticks to those values that he's brought into the club, and I hope they learn from that definitely. But my point is that you get rid of Dele Alli on a free, okay, but then you say that you trust Bergwijn and you don't bloody use him. And then people say, he's got a bad attitude. He's got a bad attitude. He's got a bad attitude. Well, why do you think he's got a bad attitude? Why do you think he's got a bad attitude?
Well, Lucas Moura
bloody Leicester City the last 10 minutes and then gets benched for it.
Lucas Moura does
It's West Ham in the Carabao Cup.
Hold up,
and he gets benched for it.
Hold up, Alex.
You know what I mean?
Lucas Moura did far more for Tottenham in half an hour of football than Bergwijn did. But Lucas Moura.
When?
Ajax game.
2 years ago. 2 years ago. Yeah. Bloody hell, bruv.
No, but I'm just saying that ever since then, he's still only ever been a bit part player. He's never been first choice. He's always been the first to be subbed. Bergwijn had a 5-minute. So listen, I'm a fan of Bergwijn. Just hear me out. Hear me out. I'm a fan of Bergwijn, right? But it's a chicken and the egg situation. You can't run with the. I say this to Brian all the time. You can't run with the foxes and hunt with the hounds. You cannot be someone who says, "Well, fuck you. You're not going to play me after my 5-minute wonder piece." The first thing he's ever done for Tottenham in reality, right? He had a good game against West Ham in the Carabao Cup, and he had a good 5 minutes against Leicester. That's basically it. That's his highlight reel. Apart from his first game he played for us when he had that nice little shot. But apart from that, he's a tricky player. But you can't say that it's okay to have an attitude problem because he didn't get recognised and rewarded immediately for the 5-minute contribution that he put in.
This is where I'm going to banter you so hard. Right?
Try,
let's go.
Wait, Alex. Just before you do, it's very remiss of me. AG put in this super chat a long time ago, and I was looking for a slot to bring it up, and I'm so sorry, AG. I do apologise, mate. You're saying it's easy to be negative. How many of the Man City team do you think are better than Kane and Son? You're missing the point if you say one. 100%, mate. And this was part of a conversation that was happening a while back, mate. I'm so sorry, AG. That if you want to bring in another comment into the chat now that's more relevant to the current conversation, I'll bring it up and treat it as the super chat, and we can make it as a conversation point. I'm really sorry, bro, that it slipped past and it's been 15, 20 minutes since you put it in. My apologies, my friend. So send in another comment and I'll bring it up as a question, and I'll bring it up as a talking point about what we're talking about now. Alex, sorry, mate. Carry on. Banter me, bro. Banter me.
Yeah. So, like I said before, look at how many managers Bergwijn's been been under. He had firstly Mourinho, who didn't want him. Okay, and then he had Mason, then he had Nuno, who, to be honest with you, I think was just put in an unfortunate situation, and I think he's now been, I think a lot's been made of Nuno, and I think that people need to be a bit more kinder about him at the end of the day. He should never have got the job in the first place. Let's be honest here. You know what I mean? So then he's got Conte. Under Mourinho, he brought in Bell, and that ruined his confidence straight away. Because he's taken his place, and that was it. Because all we were talking about was Bell, Kane, and Son. Yeah. And Kane. I remember a game against Leeds at home. He played really, really well on the wing, and then he got dropped, and that's it. So he's never been number one at Tottenham. Never has been feeling number one at Tottenham ever. So that's the point I make. I accept he's going to leave. That's not the point I'm making at the moment. But the thing is, though, it just goes back to, how much of a mess our recruitment has been at the end of the day. Why is it that we haven't got our scouting network sorted out already? Why is it also...
We're doing that now. Why
has he not got his number 2 sorted already?
Well, he's doing that, why he's doing that as well. Well, but you're saying a second. You're saying why has he got his number 2 sorted? Very few directors of football have got a number 2. Alex, it sounds like just because you've heard in the press that he's actually going after a number 2, and that's a relatively new thing. That now is a problem that he hasn't already organised.
Oh no, Sean, no, Sean, don't try and take my words now. No, naughty. Oh my God, you cheeky little man. Cheeky little man here.
Hang on, okay, wait, Alex, bear with me because there's a few more super chats. I want to get to them just quickly. Because I'm new to this whole thing. Guguma's put a super chat in, and trying to find it on the thing. Can anyone help me find it? Oh, it's a fox. It's Fox doing the shaky laugh thing. I appreciate you so much, Guguma. That's so sweet of you. And the bottom duto is saying, what are your thoughts on these 3 rumours about Martin Terrier? 21 goals on these rumours about Martin Terrier. 21 goals, 3 assists in League 1. Just quickly to take a side chat. Kuva, have you heard of this guy?
Can't say I have. Don't pay much attention to French football anymore because we keep getting such duds from there.
Dave, Brian, Alex, you heard of this man?
Not a clue.
Yeah, I'm just Danny Rosing. No, I'm joking. No, I don't know anything about him. So
never heard of him myself.
No.
The bottom duto. I really appreciate, mate. Thank you so much.
He sounds dog though, doesn't he?
He sounds nippy. He sounds like he could be quite nippy and a little bit of a rascal. And lastly, wait 1 second. What's the next one? And Kerry and McDonald has said, there's no guarantee we could find a club to cover even 75% of Delhi's wages. Okay, going back to Delhi. Everton were the only interested club, and only because of Lampard. This is a great point, Kerry, and this is why I'm saying, this is the point I'm making, that I feel like if that was the only fucking club that would have taken him, and we can get 100 grand off the salary, which doesn't sound like a lot in the grand scheme of things, but it does add up.
Yeah, do you know what? Honestly, it's a phenomenal. It's an outstanding point, but that still could have been done on a loan.
He could have gone to Newcastle.
Still could have been done on a loan, like people pay, and then obviously he comes back. And not saying we would get money for him. I'm not saying that at all, because obviously what Dele Alli's done to his career, I just don't like the way that deal was structured, that we have been left with to carry the ship. Obviously, he may come back this summer, and to throw my thing straight into the dustbin and say, Brian, you've just destroyed yourself, and it could be he could have come back in the summer and no one wanted him. Would be in the boat we're in now. So, but
that's probably more likely, right?
Everything kind of says that even if we did loan him out, it was a waste of time.
I mean, this is all going on the assumption that Dele Alli is going to improve again at some point.
He's not. He's done. He's done as a footballer.
That's why it was a good deal to just get rid of him. Yeah, because then if he does improve at Everton, then we would have got some money back. But he's not going to improve, is he? Get those wages off the books. It was absolutely the right move for me.
Big up,
Kuva. The thing is that we've got no money for him. That's the thing. I don't really think people actually understand. It's fine that we get rid of him. That's fine. But then we're moaning that we haven't got any other players. We ain't even got any other players for him at the end of the day. And we are struggling. We are struggling for homegrown players at the moment. That's the point I make. I mean, at the end of the day, we get rid of. Well, you can shake your heads, Cooper. At the end of the day, looking at it from afar, okay. Yes, you got rid of him, but you haven't got nobody else with it. You ain't got no players that score in midfield. No players in midfield score in midfield. That's it. No,
he ain't scoring goals though, bro.
I want to say
no one scores goals in our midfield. You know what I mean? Look at Bowen. Look at Bowen for West Ham. When West Ham are struggling, he scores goals for them, don't he?
Dele Alli is not Jared Bowen.
Dele Alli scored a penalty in the last 3 years in the league.
I'm not making the point, though. We don't have anybody in that midfield that score goals, though. Do we have any midfielders that score goals in that midfield? No, we don't. We don't.
But
you know what I mean? So that's what
midfielders need to do more than score a goal. They need to win the ball. They need to be able to pass the ball. Dele Alli is a trick merchant. He's someone that stands around, walks around. If you go back and watch the first game that he played for Everton against Newcastle, away at Newcastle, when Everton conceded to Newcastle, he lost the ball. He came on the pitch as a substitute. He lost the ball on the halfway line, not even on the halfway line, 20 yards between the halfway line and the 18-yard box, his 18-yard box. And he stood there and watched as everybody moved towards the goal. And they went and scored. And he wasn't even in the shot. He wasn't even in the shot when Newcastle scored the goal. Alex, I've said this to you before, mate. You have to go back and watch that to recognise that Dele Alli, if the whole point of saying Dele Alli's got value is because he can score goals from midfield that our midfielders aren't, there's more to a midfielder.
No, but I'm making the point, though.
He doesn't do anything else.
I'm making the point.
You're missing the trick.
Hang on, Alex. Go on, Dave. Sorry, Dave. You want to speak? Yeah.
We're saying, we should have clawed money back for Dele Alli. But weigh up what we paid him for the last 3 seasons compared to what he offered us, which was jack shit. Would we?
Yeah, you're right.
It's probably a couple of million every single year. Would we have recouped that if we loaned them out, still continued to pay his wages, and looked to recruit him in the summer? No, we were losing money on Dele Alli, and that's why we got rid at all costs. What we were paying him over the last 3 years? He added another 4th year onto that. We would not have recouped that in the transfer window as a transfer fee. So there's not even a discussion to be had.
There is a discussion to be had, Bob, because at the end of the day, who's scoring goals in that midfield? No one's telling me that. No one's telling me that. No one's telling me that. The thing is, though, when we go in the summer, we need a creator, someone who scores goals and who can defend as well in that midfield at the moment.
Dele Alli can't
Tell me who's going to do that, Bob. All I'm hearing now is Ericsson. That's all I'm hearing is Ericsson. All I'm hearing is Ericsson, and that's it.
I'm not saying Ericsson at all. There's one man, and I've been saying it the whole damn time, and I won't change. He has 3 initials, and it's James Ward-Prowse.
Bob, he's just one-dimensional, bro.
He's not
one-dimensional, bro. Why is Southampton doing badly, Bob? Why is Southampton doing badly, Bob?
Yeah, but Alex, look at their team. Last season when he was doing it, they had like 14 injured players out. Listen, what's the one thing we're struggling on? Set pieces. What's the one thing? James Ward-Prowse immediately doesn't make a detriment, makes a huge, oh shit, don't give any. We go from, don't worry, it's Tottenham with a free kick. Harry Kane will hit the wall. The corner will go past the first man to do not give away any free kicks in a deadly area. Immediately, that goes. And having him there competing with a Skip, a Højbjerg,
60 million quid, though,
he brings. What you got to remember with this squad as well. I really want James Ward-Prowse. For me, he's my number 1 target. Yes, we need a right wing back and a left wing back
at all costs.
I've said this to you before, didn't we, Sean? When you said 150 in the transfer budget. And for me, what we need as well is competition for places. Like you saw when you had Walker and Rose and Trippier and Ben Davies, is that competition.
Yeah, but 60 million quid for James Ward-Prowse versus Christian Eriksen
you're going to have
for
to pay
free.
the English tax. If you want to make serious challenges, for me, and this may be because I've got a huge bias when it comes to him, he is the best dead ball specialist in the world right now. The world.
Yeah.
And if that's what you need to pay to get the best in the world at a certain attribute, then that's what you do. That's what you do. You get what you pay for, isn't it?
I'm just not sure he plays enough to warrant a 60 million quid of the budget. Like if you
it's a good point. It's a good point about James Ward-Prowse, but I just think that
I love him too. I
But
I
just think it's a bit suspect that he's been in the Premier League for quite a while now, and Southampton are not going nowhere. You know what I mean?
Look at the players around him, mate. Look at the players around him. If he, Harry Kane,
I think that's a weak argument, Brian. I love you, Brian. By the way, I love
you,
Brian,
too, brother.
Yeah, you know what I mean. And you know what? Regardless whether me and David don't disagree, I big up to him all day long, bruv. I big up to this guy all day long. You know what I mean? Because one thing he doesn't do is tell me off for my behaviour, which one person's done before, and I'm getting annoyed by it, by the way. So so big up to him, by the way. And people need to subscribe to him as well. But I still don't agree with you. I still think you're deluded. Anyway, moving on. But yeah, like I said, like I just think it's just at the end of the day, I just think that he can do more. You know what I mean? I think you make players look good. When you look at Moreiro, okay, who is world class. Okay, I bantered all the Arsenal fans. All other fans tell me, what are you talking about? I say, well, Bo, don't talk to me, bruv, because I've seen this guy every single time I go into the stadium, and he shows me every single time in the stadium. He makes Dyer look good, like Skip, for instance. He made Højbjerg look like world class. You know what I mean? When he was playing, and that was under Nuno. For goodness sake. You know what I mean? A 21-year-old kid. You know what I mean? That looks an adult for his age. You know what I mean? A big man for his age. You know what I mean? So. And it's such a shame that he was injured. For me, I just think he needs to do more. You know what I mean? When you've got somebody who's coming in from another club, he needs to enhance what you've got already. You know what I mean? And that for me,
who are you saying doesn't? James Ward-Prowse?
Yeah, I'm not too sure. I'm not too sure.
So I think he did. Listen, we'll continue this conversation in 2 seconds, guys. I'm sorry, fellas. Everyone in the comments, I'm trying to figure out how to because there's 117.
Sure, check your WhatsApp in regards to what you're just talking about.
Okay, I will now. Just give me 10 seconds, Brian. Guys, there's 120 people in the on the show on YouTube. There's another 40 on different socials. This is the highest it's ever been. I'm super proud and I'm so super grateful. If anyone hasn't, first and foremost, would you please hit the like button? I'd really appreciate it. And also, if you haven't hit the subscribe button, I'm also going to drop the socials for everybody or the YouTube channels for everybody in. I'm trying to get around to it. This is it's just a bit busier than it usually is in this channel. AG, I wanted to call you out, mate, because I know I missed your the last one. I missed your thing. I didn't mean that you had to send in another super chat to get called out, mate. I just meant that you just had to put a message in, and I would have found it. You're an absolute legend. You saying no worries, mate. I just don't understand the negativity. We have beat our rivals. Handcuffed. Totally agree with you, mate. Listen, I'm gonna send through just some more comments, mate. Just no more super chats, bro, because you've earned the right. I'm gonna call them out anyway, buddy. You're an absolute legend, and I'm sorry. I'm really sorry about trying to get through to it. I also want to just quickly get through the other ones that I haven't yet gone to. Where am I? Next up is Jesus. Where am I going? I've done Gaguma super sticker, and Faz Radfar. How many new first team players? How many new first team players mean backing? That's an interesting one. I'll come to Dave on this one and then Kuba. What does backing mean for Antonio Conte, for the Levy out team who want to see? Obviously, Brian needs to come in this one, and so does Alex. This is actually an interesting conversation. It's probably worth a bit of time to talk about. What does backing?
Check your WhatsApp, Sean.
Okay. Dave, come to you first, mate. What does backing mean? How many new players do we need? Is it 5, 6, 7? Is the number irrelevant? Is it just whatever Conte wants? But we'll never know what Conte wants. So, what are your thoughts on that one, mate?
For me, I think whatever positions Conte has identified and what positions he think he needs strength and depth in, you go and buy. Look, for me, I definitely think it's about 5 or 6 players, Sean. When I look at the team, I think we still need an upgrade on Dyer. I still think we need an upgrade on Davies. I still think we need an upgrade at right wing back, maybe possibly one at left wing back. There's 5 already. For me, you're definitely looking at another centre midfielder at least. There's 4. That's 5 with the centre midfielder. And then maybe another player in the forward areas because Steven Bergwijn is going this season. Look, the thing is with Steven Bergwijn, there's an attitude problem with him at the club, in and around the club. Now, we can all sit here and excuse his attitude, but at the end of the day, the only way of getting into the team is by changing your attitude. And if you don't want to do that, then get out of my club at the end of the day. I don't want you here. So for me, when I look at it, I definitely think 5 or 6 signings, Sean, because we need the strength in depth. We cannot continue pursuing with the likes of Winks and people like that, my man. We cannot keep pursuing with them. We have to. Sanchez, we have to accept that, they're not good enough. I mean, look, even look at Dyer and Davies. Go back. If we didn't make top 4, you could have went back to that Brighton game. Dyer turned his back on the ball. Also done it against Leicester, even though we won that 3-1. Davies, has had errors. Sanchez, when he came in for a period. Look at when Winks came in for a period. Completely derailed the Tottenham team. We didn't look like the same team whatsoever. So I think it's important that we give Antonio Conte a good squad to work with. And for me, I think 5 or 6, 100%. But then if outgoings go in, then you need to bring in more.
So 5 or 6 brand new, and then you would just shift the 5 or 6 players from the first team that are bettered by whoever these 5 or 6 are down to squad status, and then you'd allow Paratici to go and find if that means that Harry Winks or Emerson, whoever, they all get shifted out, but you want 5 or 6 at least new signings, and that would equate to you Conte being backed, yeah?
For me, I think 5 or 6 signings is backed. I think 5 or 6 signings, if we're going to be competing for the Premier League, League Cup, Champions League, and FA Cup next season, which is what Conte's here to do, which is to win trophies, you have to give him the tools to do his job in order to change tactics, change formation, and be flexible with everything he wants to do. You have to give him all the options. And for me, if you're going to compete in all fronts, you're going to have that sort of squad, because you're also going to get injuries during the season. We've been lucky enough with Kane not getting injured this season, Son not having too many injuries.
Yeah, we got very lucky.
Well, we've got Boy up in the forward area, so I mean, we have to bring in 5 or 6. Like at the end of the day, there's no point in bringing Antonio Conte here knowing he wants cups and then give him 3 players to work with extra than what he has this season, because it's not what he's here to do,
100%, mate. 100%. Kuva, over to you, mate. I'm sorry to have the conversations
it's
jumping around
cool.
so much. Is half me. I'm sorry, man. This is all a bit much.
No, it's gonna happen with this panel on, isn't it? You got David and Alex here for a start. That's usually enough for a show by itself.
My God, I've been called the quiet one. Thank God. It happened.
No, I've been a poor host. I'm trying to figure out, 'cause I've never had as many people in the house, so I'm learning.
You're not a poor host.
Cool.
Stop going on like that, Bob. You're fine. You're fine.
Okay, I
busy
appreciate
in the
you.
chat as well, so it's it's all up.
I'm keeping an eye out. I'm keeping an eye out anyway for you. Yeah.
Thanks, man. I appreciate your patience.
As for signings, I think David's pretty much spot on with the 5 or 6. But I'd say ideally 7 for me. I think a couple of interchangeable forwards that can cover the wide areas and go through the middle. If Newcastle make big money signings up front, I wouldn't even mind the likes of Callum Wilson. I mean, judging on how he was playing last night, it'd do very well to
he was awesome last night, wasn't he?
He really was. So he's certainly still got something left in the tank.
That guy's got this guy's a sprinter. The way he runs, it's like he's got this head bouncing. He's insanely strong.
A bit of pace and power to come on, since we haven't got the likes of Sane to do it. So
you like him, would you?
Fit the bill. So a couple of interchangeable forwards, a combative midfielder to compete with Skip and Højbjerg and Bentancur. Couple of wing backs, couple of central defenders. We're looking at, for me, that's 7 players. But as David says, and as you were saying as well, Sean, it's a case of you look to improve the first team, and then those current players drop down to make squad players. Because I'm okay with the likes of Ben Davies to be there on the bench. I'm okay with the likes of Dyer to be there on the bench. But we need that quality in the first team. We have to up our game. Because at the end of the day, some of what Alex has said, I agree with. We're not great at the moment, are we? But we've done well to get where we are. So let's build on it. And it's going to take that kind of level of investment. Like I say, 7 players, but 5 or 6 is a more realistic target. But that could be very expensive. If it is, Levy better just suck it up and buy them anyway, because we need it. Otherwise, this could be our last. This could be our last time in the Champions League if we don't cement our place there now. We've got to fortify the position we've just earned now. Newcastle are going to be coming back. It's only a matter of time before Man United do as well. So we've got to do it now. There's no point saying for the future. It's right now. It has to happen.
Kuva's right. There's no second chance at this.
Kuva,
I agree.
I actually agree with what David says about the 6 signings. I do agree with him in terms of that, because we do need a attacking midfielder who can create or score goals. Two wing backs that are good wing backs, specialist wing backs, left side defender. I'm an arming about this striker thing, because I think the Kane thing is a problem still, as far as I'm concerned, because no one wants to be a backup striker.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that's
what I'm saying. Interchangeable forwards, they can play wide as well. It's the only way we're going to do it, isn't it?
Because it's always going to be an issue. You know what I mean? Because Kane's always going to play, and it's summed it up this season. You know what I mean? So, but I do agree with you what you're saying. It's just, it is that. But the thing that I think is the main issue for me at the moment, and this is why I'm not so fascinated about Champions League, because we've got no chance of winning Champions League. We need major trophies. That's what we need, because Kane and Son, to justify themselves staying at Tottenham, they need major trophies. And I mean FA Cup, Europa League or Premier League or
Yeah.
Champions League. They
Would you be
need
happy?
those.
Would you be happy, Alex? I know how you feel that Europa League, and I know a lot of people feel the same as you. That doing what West Ham did this season, if Tottenham did that next season and maybe went a stage further, despite us getting into the top four, in a world where we get a beast of a group in the Champions League, let's presume we qualify and then we get a beast of a group and we finish third, and then we drop into the Europa League at the knockout stages. Would winning the Europa League be one of the best seasons that Tottenham, like, would it bridge the gap for those people that are leaving out? I'll ask Alex first, then I'll come to Brian. If we won the Europa League, right, is that's a level above FA Cup and Carabao Cup? Do we agree? Like that's something more.
I'll go back.
Would that be enough to satiate?
I'll go a step
the
further,
desires
bro.
of Tottenham fans?
I would have gone a step further if Mourinho, at the time, won that Europa League, right? That would have been the best season for Tottenham, 110%, and I would have gritted my teeth saying that. Europa League, because that time,
last year,
last year. Because I remember that, and like there was a time when I got to be honest, when David was on Chris Cowling's channel and saw him really upset. I mean, that just summed up lots of Tottenham fans, to be honest with you, and that warmed my heart, to be honest with you, David, when he was, because you could see he was upset at that time, and I was a bit annoyed about the whole thing as well, to be honest with you. But like I said, that is a major turning point. You know what I mean? It would have been a turning point for West Ham. That's why I was really worried. And luckily, thank goodness I didn't win it, because I would have stuck our faces for so long about it as well. You know what I mean? So for me, I mean, you don't know. In the world, you don't know what's going to happen next season. But we've got the World Cup next season. To play with. We've got 2 games a week. We couldn't even handle 2 games a week this season. So I think I think it's about the mixture of the squad. I don't agree with people saying that we need to buy players and they get straight into the team. I think you need to work for it. You know what I mean?
But yeah, you've been calling for Bergwijn to get straight into the team without calling for him to work for it.
Well, no, but he was working for it though, bro. I think it's.
No, he wasn't.
I think like I said, the problem with Bergwijn is I think he really wanted to leave in January. He wasn't allowed to leave in January, and then he gave his all, and he did the impact he did, and then he got demotivated again. So I understand why he's feeling the way he's feeling at the end of the day, And I think he just needs to move on for his own good. You know what I mean? Because he wants to play in the World Cup. So I can understand it from his point of view. He's not an Ndombele. Let's just say that, or Lo Celso at the moment. You know what I mean? I think we have to be a little bit more fairer to him, to be honest with you. But I don't want to get into that too much because I've already covered him already. But I just think that we need players that are willing to fight for their places, as far as I'm concerned. Not players that just want to come to Tottenham because of Champions League. Because we're going to have another Ndombele problem if we have that sort of player there. You know what I mean? And that's what I'm worried about at the moment. Because at the moment, everything's hunky dory at the moment. Now, I like Conte as a man, as a coach. He's a better coach than Mourinho all day long, and I like his. I'm getting used to his football because I like some interchanges as well. But he does need his players around him and stuff. But I just think that at the moment it's looking good at the moment. But let's not get it right. Next season is a very difficult season for Tottenham. Because in Champions League, it's a very difficult thing for us at the end of the day. So this is where I think we need to get a good squad in. You need to sort this squad out. We need to sort out our youth because there needs to be some progress for them next season as well. Because we might have some injuries where they will have some chances to step up as well. And that's it really for me. So, I mean, I do agree with what you're saying a little bit, Kuva and David, in terms of the 6 signings. But I think there's a lot of things to really to address here, and I don't think it's going to be sorted all this summer. I think, you know what I mean. So,
all right. Well, let me take that point then, and just factor in some of these super chats if I can, Alex.
Yeah.
And I'll give some of the guys to answer.
Sure. Sorry, just quickly before you do that.
I know you got a couple of minutes. Is that can I give you one of the super chats to answer before I let you go?
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. So Dark Sun G is saying, By the way, thank you so much to Dark Sun G. I super appreciate you, buddy. I've got another one just ahead of this I'm going to come back to in 2 seconds, but just going to shout this out. Dave, what do you think about Dark Sun G's comments? Our priorities: Winks, Sanchez, Lo Celso, Tanguy, Stevie, Rodon are the out, and then ins are left-sided centre-back, another central centre-back, 2 midfielders, 2 wing-backs, 2 forwards, and a wing-up and a backup striker. If we get 6 in the summer and 2 in January. Would you agree with Dark Sun G there?
Yeah, look, 100%. I agree with the players out. I mean, look, Winks hasn't offered anything all season but losses. Sanchez, for me, look, he's the fact that Dyer and Davies have jumped ahead of him in the pecking order, and this guy cost 45 million. Got to go, not good enough. Fair play for the last 2 games, but over the course of the season, I haven't forget that period where he did have a proper run in the team of 8-9 games and he was useless. The says so Tanguy have to go. Stevie wants out anyway, and Rodon, look, being hard done by the kid, not really given any chances, had some injury problems when maybe you think he could have had a chance. But in order for the kid, for him, I think he has to go. But look, I agree with the players in. I mean, for me, left side of centre back and another centre back is of utmost importance for me. I think, look, going forward, we're strong. But for me, the problem stems from midfield and into defence. And for me, I think that's our biggest problem. Look, every forward line is going to have a day off across the world, which we did against Brighton and Brentford, but the defence never held out. They never stepped up, and that's what top teams do. So that has to be improved. 1 or 2 other midfielders I'd absolutely love in here. I'd keep Højbjerg, Bentancur, and Skip, but I think you do need that other option in midfield. If not 2, it'd be nice. And as for the forward players, look, I would like another backup striker. I know what people are saying. I can understand what people are saying when like nobody wants to come here and be backup. But at the end of the day, I mean, you look at Newcastle, they've got Callum Wilson, they've got Chris Wood, they've got a couple of players up there. You know, you look right down through the Premier League, most of them have strikers there. Players will come. But I just don't know why we haven't got the problem sorted. I mean, I grew up watching Tottenham having 4 strikers nearly every single season. Yeah. So I mean, I don't buy into this that players will not come to Tottenham, you know, to play behind Harry Kane. At the end of the day, you know, I just don't understand why you wouldn't want to come here. And for me, look, ideally, I don't think you have to buy a specialist striker, though, lads. I don't know if anybody agrees with me here, but you could buy a player that can play anywhere across the front 3, because if you look at Sonny this year, he's more or less been our outlet. So, I mean, he's proven that he can play up there if you have someone feeding him the balls. But then you'd need someone to occupy the space that he takes up on the team sheet. So just someone that can play across all the front 3 would be nice. A bit like what Liverpool done with Diaz and Diego Jota, you know, would be phenomenal. But look, I've had fun. I
know you got to go.
Yeah.
Dave, I've put your guys, ladies and gentlemen. I'm sure most people, if not everybody, that's in the chat, of course, knows the Irish Hotspur. But I'm going to repost his link to his YouTube channel. He's going to go over and do his thing very shortly for his members fan show. Dave, tell everyone where you can find you and why they should, if they haven't already subscribed. Right?
Yeah, you can find us over at the Irish Hotspur, and if you haven't subscribed, Shawnee's always over there, so that's one reason. And the second reason is, I mean, look, I want to try and be the best in the business. So, I mean, every little subscriber helps, you know, gives me a nice ego boost as well. So, but most of all...
You realise, though, David, you leaving now, Alex is going to claim it as a victory.
Well, I mean, at the end of the day, he showed up late. I was the first one here.
Please.
I couldn't even show up. But look,
gosh.
Everybody smash that subscribe button here. And everybody keep getting your super chats in and help support Sean. He's been a good asset to the community, a good asset. It brings good discussions and different views to every panel that he's on. And this guy deserves it. So, guys, please show him the love. Peace out.
Cheers, David. Love you, mate.
Cheers, mate.
Top 4.
See you soon.
Top 4. Top 4.
Going on too much, man. Oh, God. What the fuck are you straws, man? Oh, my gosh.
Ladies and gentlemen, please go over and see Dave. But you know what? It was a little bit weird one. I think Alex and Dave need to have their own, like, just the 2 of them, just going at it, rather than, because it's difficult to be able to chaperone everything and have other guests on as well. So But I really appreciate Alex.
You're
and Dave
doing
for
well,
both.
Bob. You're doing well, Bob.
Mate, I'm fucking struggling today. It's hard,
No,
man.
you're
It's
doing
hard.
well,
It's
Bob.
super
Me,
hard.
me and David, we do need our own show. We do need our own show though, because
should have it.
yeah, we do. It's
All right,
my
guys.
fault.
So where did we get to? So I got the question. Oh wait, I've got one more. I've got another super chat from Dark Sun G, who said, "Do you see what happens when we don't use winks? The game he played, Conte was terrible.
Gosh.
Both Southampton, Man United
Just
away,
bashing
Wolves
him.
away,
Why are we bashing
Brighton,
him for?
Burnley. It's finally time to sell winks for someone in midfield for the Champions League." Ryan, we haven't heard from you for a while. I know, Alex. I'm sure you want to come in this one, but I want to give this one to Brian first. You haven't got to just stick with this super chat, but I want you to start with the super chat. And Dark Sun G, thank you so much, mate. It's insane that you would do that, mate. I really appreciate it, bro. Brian, what do you want to say to Dark Sun G? Is it time for Harry Winks to go? Is there any life left in the guy? Can he stay in the Premier League, or do we have to lower our valuation to just get him out and send him to the Championship?
We've got to lower our valuation. That's the start. That's the start. But listen, when people forget, and they're very, very quick to forget this, when Harry Winks first came into the squad and he made his debut at the last season in the Lane, and his debut was against West Ham, a game he scored in, he was actually incredible in that game. And he was incredible that season till he picked up a horrific injury at Burnley. Ever since then, he hasn't been the same player. He got into the England squad. He hasn't been the same player. It was a horrific injury. And he's had the odd game at Real Madrid, here and there. Against, he's had very, very good games. But the thing is, Tottenham Hotspur want to get up to here. And unfortunately, Harry Winks' ability goes up to here, or wherever you want to say on that scale.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, if we want to progress and become a bigger club and a better club and a more competitive club, that bench needs to be stronger. Harry Winks is definitely not a first team player anymore.
Never a first team player. No.
Hell no.
But not even a squad player. Really, none of us.
No, that's where I'm coming from. And unfortunately, right now, he has a ceiling, and he could probably do very well at an Aston Villa, a Southampton, a Brentford. He might be and recapture the form he could have, but right now, where we want to be and where we're aiming to go, he's unfortunately nowhere near, and that's no fault of his own. His ability, unfortunately, just does not match where we want to go anymore, and that's what happens when you have a job and they need to go in a different direction, or you're not hitting your targets.
Yeah,
you're gone. Bye bye. There's no okay. We're going to see how much money we get. You're on the rock and roll. You're signing on, and that's the way it is now. I wish Harry Winks the best for his future. I wish he rejuvenated himself.
I think his development was ruined when Mourinho came in. To be honest with you,
nah, but that was where. Do you know what? Listen, people have affiliations with players, like I do Pierre-Emile Højbjerg, but that's just not his footballing ability. I keep going on about. I watched the very first interview he gave as a Spurs player, and the way he spoke, and the way he's showing his mentality, and the way he brought himself across. I had huge respect for him. Huge respect for him. Then you see that he will run through a brick wall and everything, and it's actually they're things that endear me to. Like I said, I've got Paul Gascoigne, my favourite ever player to play for Spurs. No one will ever take that mantle from him, ever. Doesn't matter who we sign. And second, after all the players Tottenham Hotspur have, it's Jan Vertonghen. Just because of what he stood for, the class of the man, the way he played football, many things. And Harry Winks, unfortunately, not putting him in that bracket. He's not in that mould where he's going to fit an Antonio Conte. Mourinho, you're right, Alex. He did not fit into it, and you saw a very steep decline in him. That doesn't mean that he wasn't not good enough to begin with. I just think he came through, and that horrific injury that he got against Burnley has ruined what I think he could have done at Spurs.
Well, if you kept him with if he had Pochettino, I mean, I don't like going back to this Pochettino thing, and it's not. And I'm not because the thing is, I do agree with what, and this is not.
I agree with Brian what he's saying there.
Sorry, I agree with what you're saying as well. That we need to let him go, for his own good, because he needs to move forward, and that's it. But my point is that I just think if you had Poch at that time, You know what I mean? I think you could have recovered him, but because he's not a defensive midfielder, Brian. He's not a defensive midfielder. You know, I think there's different ways that you could have used him in a different way where he could have been more effective. I think maybe, you know, because at the moment I think he's gone into this routine now where the way he's playing, he's very uptight when he's on the ball, and and I think if he was more with a manager like Poch, you know, working with him, I think he would have been more open, like with Skip, because I think Skip is his development. You know, he's more open, and he's got his body open when he's on the ball, and he's got his long runs as well, and he's got all round thing to his game. I think with Winks, I think he's confused whether he's got to attack or defend, and I think that's just been a problem, and I think that's why he might need to leave, just to have a fresh start to start again with his game. I think that's what he needs. Maybe, I don't know. This is not me because I absolutely love Wings. I just think he gets a lot of flack for really no reason.
Alex, on that part, you're right. He does get a lot of flack. And Tottenham Hotspur have had a problem. Not just Tottenham Hotspur, actually. All teams across the world, when there's a couple of players, they get scapegoated. And there's no doubt Harry Winks is in that category that he gets scapegoated. There's
like Davis, for instance. Davis, remember Davis
is one that I've been a fan. Again, you're right. It's not one that I have scapegoated, but you're right. He's in that category of kind of player, and he is one of that. But that doesn't mean that he still isn't good enough. We've got Antonio Conte. We've got Antonio Conte, and if I was to sit down with you before Conte came and said Antonio Conte could have 25 midfielders to pick from, not one of them would be Harry Winks. Yeah. Not one of them. That's what I'm trying to get, Alex. I think he could do very well at another club. I really think he could. This is
the frustrating thing sometimes arguing with Alex, because at the end of the day, we both actually agree on what's needed in the team, because we want to see quality players in that first team. It's the way we get to that point that always seems to we come unstuck on. Because I agree, we do need someone like a Winks, and we do need somebody like a Dele Alli, but not the Winks and Dele Alli of today. It's the ones from 4 years ago, and they are not. I
can agree with that. I can agree with that. I can actually agree with that. What you're saying. Yeah,
and that's all. As simple as that. Otherwise, I agree with you. We do need.
You've made a good point there. You've made a very good point there. To be honest with you, that's a fair point. I hear you on that one. To be honest, Yakuva. To be honest, that's a very fair point. Yeah, we agree.
The other thing I did want to talk about just very quick, because I can remember the Super.
Brian, just give me 10 seconds.
Yeah, go on, bro. Go on.
It's all I've got to do is Gaguma once again with the super chat. I need to find it in the real time stream.
I'll show you. I've got it right here. It's a Fox doing.
She put her finger up. She wants to say something. I think. Oh no, it's the finger out. She's doing the fingers.
Yeah, maybe she. That's why she's the Empress. But yeah,
she knows we're coming to the end of the stream, and she wants to do the leaving out thing.
Wait, Sean, this is one of your streams. We're only 1 hour 48 minutes in. We haven't even got to halfway mark yet.
Well, listen. The only reason I originally said it was supposed to be 6 until 7:45 was because Dave had to jump off because he's got his thing starting soon. So, I mean, we can carry on going if you guys don't have anything else to do.
Yeah,
but,
a little bit. Yeah, I'll have to go. It's nothing against you, Sean. I have to discipline myself. I have to discipline myself in terms of because you know how it is. You get so excited and you want to be on, but yeah.
The one thing I wanted to talk about, because we were talking about when the super chats came in and everything, was about how many players and what is backing, and everyone gave their numbers.
I never got a chance to come round to you, did I?
That's right. That's why I'm bringing it up, my friend. It's why I'm bringing it up. You've been snowed under today, man. I got you. But yeah, do you know what? For me, people are going to be actually surprised with my. I'm not going to go into what players do I think he's backing, but people have said, what would you deem, Brian, as success for Daniel Levy in this window? And I'm going again with that number 6. That Antonio Conte wants 6 players in. Now, for me, I deem progress to be anything over 50%. So if he gets 4 players, and they're 4 players he wanted, not like a Brian Hill kind of player. If he wants a De Vrij and a De Vrij comes in, if he wants a Dumfries and a Dumfries comes in, and players of that ilk that because again, either side of the fence, what signings are Daniel Levy signings and what players are manager signings. Romero is a whether you want to say Paratici or not, that is an elite signing, which right, the manager can deal with. Kulusevski and Bentancur. Those are players that have been there, done it. All right, Kulusevski at a young age, but done it in Syria. A Brian Hill and a Mehdi Sarr is one for the future. We don't know what manager was going to have him in the future. Could be our attacking manager for our defensive manager for our attacking manager. You don't know. So if we get 4 players out of the 6 that's success. If we get players out, like I said at the beginning, at the reduced rate, if there is a reduced rate, that Conte says, look, they're not in my squad. Like, for instance, Ndombele, from what we're hearing, and it's all rumours as always, Ndombele has already been told that when you come back, you're training by yourself because you're not going anywhere near the first team. Take a hit on him. We talked about
Can we have a conversation rather than numbers? Can we spice it up, right? Can we spice it up as a group here? Can we acknowledge that we're talking about the likes of maybe getting a Lautaro Martinez, but probably not. Maybe getting a Dybala who was crying his eyes out yesterday. I don't know if you guys have seen it.
Yep.
His Juventus send-off, right? The guy's bawling his eyes out like he's leaving his baby behind, right? The likes of Konrad Laimer from Leipzig. We're talking about, Vidran Yilmaz from Besiktas for 6 million. And listen, if that's what Conte wants, that's what Conte gets. But when you've got Champions League to offer, and you've got the best stadium in the world, and you've got the best training facilities in the world, and you've got arguably one of, if not the best manager in the world, and you can offer these players to play alongside, future greats like Romero, current or former greats, World Cup winners like Lloris, current best in the world strikers like Sonny and Kane. Can we just spend a few minutes, boys, just thinking about when there's nothing that we can't offer to any player in the world that another team can, with the possible exception of a Liverpool who can offer instant gratification, right? The Premier League's the best team in the world. Manchester United, maybe there's a project there that someone might want to be a part of, but for me, I wouldn't want to be the first person through that door. Manchester City don't really need anybody. Liverpool, I'll accept, can offer that immediacy effect, but do you want to live in Liverpool? Newcastle are certainly a project that looks exciting, but they're does your wife want to live in Newcastle? I don't know. Newcastle, no disrespect to Newcastle, I'm sure it's a lovely place, but I've heard
Newcastle is fucking brilliant.
Oh yeah, I'm sure it is, but I've heard that it's not it's not that kind of not that desirable for the wags or whatever. So, and then you've got London and you've got Chelsea, which there's rumours today yet again, that their takeover's falling apart because Abramovich won't accept the deal from the UK government. And you've got Arsenal that aren't clearly going to do anything. And would you rather work under Conte, or would you rather work under Arteta? Can we just for a second talk about the potential names that now might be in the bucket if we can get a point at Norwich? Rather than the Konrad Laimers, not that he's not, but I love him anyway, or the Vidran Yilmaz's or whatever his name is. Can we talk about the guy? Who's that guy at AC Milan? That what's the guy's name?
Sure,
Theo
we've got
something?
top 4, bruv. We've got top 4,
okay,
bruv, yeah.
Okay, so can we talk about this then?
4.
Who do we want? Who's the right wing back that we want?
I just actually want to talk about a player that you just mentioned, and it's the Yilmaz guy, the Turkish guy. Now, one of my very, very good friends back home, where I used to go Spurs home and away with, is Turkish. He's a huge Fenerbahce fan, and he literally is diehard when it comes to Fenerbahce. And I asked him about him because obviously I know absolutely nothing about him apart from he's Turkish and he's playing out there, and he waxes lyrical about him. Obviously, there may be a bit of bias because of the Turkish, but he's not playing for his team, and like what I was just saying just now when I said 4 players, if we was to get 4 players and a Yilmaz, because you don't get me wrong, there are going to be the occasional. Look at Kante and go at 5 million from. There are players like that are available, and this is why we have someone like a Paratici to maybe identify. We don't know if this is Paratici, Conte. So this Yilmaz, granted, I've only asked one person, but it's someone I think very, very close part of my life and knows his Turkish football inside out, has really got me on board with, and like we've said, with Conte, it's not just about how much they cost. It's whether they have the mental strength. It's whether they have the stamina, whether they have the training and mindset and ability and all that. It's whether they've got it all. It's not just what they can do on a pitch in 90 minutes. It's what they can do off the pitch and within the play. So this Yilmaz guy, granted, again, it's only one person. I'm quite excited by what I've heard from this Yilmaz. I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to lie. I mean, I know you said you want to talk about the big players, and we can get that.
We can talk about him as well. I don't mind.
But yeah, this Yilmaz obviously is what you got to remember as well. One thing I will say is the Turkish league. If anyone has ever watched it or watched a game between Galatasaray and Fenerbahce, it's all right. It's an all right cage match. It can be done in MMA. That's how brutal and violent they get there. So when he comes, at least he's had the school of hard knocks already.
Yeah.
So he's going to be kind of. So he's got that. So do you know what? There's a player like him, and again, I can't really comment more. But there are these players like an N'Golo Kante that come in at a cheap amount, because this is what we've got to figure. Like you said, there are some big names. We can start eating at the top table again. We're not going to the buffet. We're going to get waiter service.
And is there a team in the UK that, with the exception of Liverpool, that we're really competing with? Like, is a player like let's be honest, Chelsea are going to be looking for centre backs, right? Because they're losing Christensen, who didn't even want to fucking play in the FA Cup final. Like, what sort of statement does that make about the state of their dressing room, that he doesn't even want to play because he's worried about his next gig, right? And they're also losing Rudiger. And then the fact that they have that their takeover's not even legitimized yet, and it could fall apart. Brian, like, Chelsea could fall into all sorts of problems legally with their debts, the FFP, all sorts of shit could happen there. So, and then you've got Arsenal, which no longer, if they finish 5th and you're under Arteta, like, would any striker make the only argument you could make for a really decent striker joining Arsenal over Tottenham is that they'll get more game time at Arsenal than they would at Tottenham.
Yeah.
Like, London's a bit of a draw. Tottenham's a bit of a draw. Yeah. I don't know. Like, I just think that we can aim higher. If we get the 1 point on Sunday, we can aim higher. And there's nothing holding us back.
The only problem I would say is at the moment is that you've got Leicester City, who haven't got Europe next season, and they're always a problem for me. And I know people don't like me mentioning them, but they've got history.
Okay.
They've won trophies.
Alex, let me just add a caveat onto your Leicester, because I've got a very good friend, or has become a very good friend, called Wayne, who I did my Leicester preview game with. Yeah. And from what he's telling me and from what he's saying, Rodgers won't be there at the start of the season. He will not be there at the start of the season. Apparently, they really are. After going out of the Europa Conference League, and there was another game they played recently in the Premier League. I can't remember the one. He was like, the tide is turning on him. Now, don't get me wrong. People will know I love the Leicester chairman. I love the Leicester business model. I love everything about them. But then if Leicester go for another manager, obviously that's going to have a huge impact on the players they've got, what formation, what. I know exactly what you're saying about Leicester, because I agree with you with Leicester with some extent, with the players they've had and the way they. But if they do get rid of Rodgers, next season I see being more of a. They'll go off the radar for one season whilst this new manager gets his.
I don't really agree, because I think the thing is, though, they've been very clever and very smart with their hiring the managers, and they'll stick to their philosophy. The worry for me is
I agree with.
The worry for me is with Leicester is that Pochettino could easily go to that club and rip it up easily. You know what I mean? Another one that worries me is that if Paul Mitchell goes over there, that worries me as well.
Yeah.
Because I heard some rumours that they were linked with him a couple of years ago. I was like, no, please,
Well, United
do
were
not
linked
go
with him this
near him.
summer.
Why would they
Yeah.
want to change their current director of football?
Well, yeah, but that's what I'm saying. But there was rumours about it, and I was like, no, please do not, because he will make them look good. Honestly, another team as well, West Ham. Like I said, I mean, if Rice goes, yeah, that'd be great, yeah. But they're still on my radar at the end
I'd
of the
rather
day.
Rice stays, mate. He's not worth 150 million. As if West Ham can't go and find someone or three players that can make their team better than the one player that Declan Rice is. He's good. He's a great player. Don't get me wrong, but
He's fantastic.
he
He's
ain't.
fantastic.
He's a great player, but 150 bar, you could.
I mean, I'm not worried about
not sure.
Newcastle. I think I'd still need a little bit more next season to convince me next season. I'm still not sure. They've done well, but when you're fighting relegation, there's difference between fighting relegation and then trying to get into Europe next season. Trying to win trophies next season. There's a completely different pressure to it. You know what I mean? Leicester and West Ham have gone in through that pressure. They haven't. You know what I mean? So we'll have to see what happens. You know what I mean? When you've got that expectation on you, let's see if they don't crumble the pressure. You know what I mean? So those are the teams I'm really looking at. Man United is an interesting one for me. I do agree about Chelsea. There is an opportunity there. There is an opportunity there for somebody to snap, to try and push themselves. You know what I mean?
I think
I do agree with you there, because there is a bit of a mess.
If we really go after it this year, I think Newcastle, by the way, as much as everyone's like, oh, Newcastle are just going to spend another 300, they can't spend another. They've already spent a fair chunk of money and paying good wages. That 500 million that they had, like net for the FFP thing, that includes salaries over a specific period of time. So they've already spent a decent chunk of it. They can't just go and like spend 500 million in the summer and turn themselves into. But I'm not sure they need to. Like what they've done there has been spectacular in the second half of the season.
Someone just said about Rodgers. Said about what is it, Graham Potter for Leicester. And you can't lie. That could happen as well.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That could happen. And you see how he's doing well at Leicester, at Brighton at the moment. You know what I mean? With that team.
Chris Wilder as well. That's another one.
Exactly. So this is the thing. This is what
I think Leicester are on the way down. I know how you feel about Leicester, but I feel like they're on the way down. They're not going to have anything like the same compensation they can pay this season, because the money that they made in previous seasons, that's starting to dwindle. And they just don't have the size, the stadium capacity. They haven't got the same revenue coming in. They're a small club in terms of what they can generate. They have, like, Tottenham make 700 million quid a year, 600 million quid a year in revenue. Man City might make $1 million. Chelsea might make 1.1. Man United probably make like 1.4 because of their commercial stuff. Leicester are like pittance. They're like 250 at best. And when you've got players like what's his face who wants to leave, Tillemans who wants out, like I just don't. Listen, I appreciate and respect, and I know you're a big advocate of them. I appreciate and respect what they can do with their scouting, but there's only so many times you can pull a needle from a haystack.
I hope you're right. But the thing is,
I don't think Leicester will be. I think Leicester will be there or thereabouts, but I think gradually their stock is going to fall, because I just think that they were the beneficiary of a wonderful system that was like peaking at a perfect time when other teams were going through their rebuild, but they just don't have the consistent revenue streams to be able to compete. And now that they're not going to be in Europe next year, now that money that they had from years ago has been spent on players and wages and all that stuff, I can't see them being an ever present in the threat bucket. I might be wrong, but the way I look at it from the financial side of things is, you need money to be able. It takes money to make money, and I don't think they have the money coming in naturally from the stadium and from their from their gate receipts and their commercial stuff. So,
I think from Leicester's point of view, I've always had the feeling they try and buy in the medium-sized fish and hope they grow into the big fish.
Right.
So,
and the problem with that, Cougar, it's the same with the FFP ruling, right? I was actually going to do a stream about this separately, but I'll summarize it in hopefully 30 seconds. The FFP thing is is a fucking disgrace, because all it really does is it says you have to live within your means. So if Manchester City, if their means, if they can bring in $1 billion, £1 billion a year, then they can throw 100 million at Jack Grealish. And if it doesn't naturally change anything, then it doesn't really matter. They can throw that money at 2, 3, 4, 5 of those types of players. And it will, if 2 of them hit and 3 of them don't, they'll still be able to sustain their position at the top where all the revenue is. A team like Norwich, a team like Fulham that are coming up, their sustainability bucket is 1/10 of what Man City is. So if they're ever going to be able to get into the realms where the revenue streams increase, they have to identify a player or 2 or 3, and every one of them has to absolutely hit, just like Leicester did 6-7 years ago, right? But that worked for Leicester then. It's starting to not work now. Like, the whole FFP thing for me is a fucking it's dressed up as a way to make sure that teams stay within their means, but in reality, it's a way to let like buckets of teams stay within their bucket. Like Manchester City can throw money and fail 4 or 5 times with their investments and still be in that bucket where they make $1 billion, because they're always going to be in the Champions League. Fulham, Norwich, Watford, Brentford, Burnley, those sorts of teams, if they're ever going to get out of that bucket where they go up, down, up, down, up, down, they have to invest and make it every single investment absolutely spot on so that they can climb out. And then the next season, 2 seasons time, they need to do it again and again and again. The FFP thing isn't fit for purpose, in my opinion. They should look more like an American model where you have like a salary. If they really want to make it fair, they should make it like more like a salary cap or a total spend cap, so no team can go above a certain threshold. Otherwise, it just keeps certain teams in certain areas, and it doesn't allow for the small teams to progress. Sorry, I'm rambling. That took more than 30
No,
seconds.
you're making sense. I mean, in terms of in terms of the football side of things, because I think you made some good points there about the finances. I still feel until next season. I know we're really looking forward, I think, but I think with the next, last game of the season now, we are looking ahead now, aren't we? I'm still need to be proven wrong on Leicester, I think. You know what I mean? And I think Tottenham, like I said, I don't want to be in another position like last season, having Leicester win the FA Cup, because that did kill it. It cut me up a lot because I didn't like that. I didn't like that at all, to be honest with you. And seeing West Ham nearly win the Europa League and then win the Conference League, that's just not a good position for me to be looking at the end of the day. I'm fed up with seeing Tottenham faltering and seeing other teams who are below us, doing well. I'm getting fed up of it. I'm getting really fed up of it, and I just think that we need to. That season has to be the focus on. I understand about the Carabao Cup and young people need to see that, because they'll take anything, because I haven't seen their team win ever in their lifetime. So I understand it from their point of view. So for them, it'd be great for them, and they'll love it.
Yeah.
But I mean, I need to see more, and it's a shambles that we have not, won anything for players like Kane and Son, and it's a credit to them that they're stuck around for all this time. It's a shambles, an absolute shambles, and we need to move this club further forward and win trophies like the FA Cup, what we were renowned for in the past, and European cups as well, which were renowned in the past as well. And that's what I think needs to be dealt with Conte. I think it has to be done with Conte. If
Yeah,
it
I agree,
doesn't
mate.
happen with Conte, I don't know where we're going to go with it, to be honest with you. Because as I said before,
So we're
I
all
don't
in,
see.
right? Like, all of
Pardon?
us, regardless of our position, whether we want Daniel Levy in, Daniel Levy out, whether we believe in the Champions League or that finishing 4th or 5th makes a difference. All of us recognise that this summer is the biggest summer of Tottenham's for our lives, right? Because
Well, you can't be messing around. You can't be messing around, though, to be honest with you. That's the thing. This, like I said before, the work should have been done in January, regardless what position we're going to be in. The work should have been done in January. You know what I mean? So, like I said before, and if it's not been done in January, what you've been doing, and I'm not trying to, cause a, I'm not.
I get it. I get it. Listen, for me, Brian, for me, Alex, I'm semi with you on the Paratici thing. Like, I think the jury's still out massively, but for me, it's all about this summer. Everything comes down to this. And now that if we do finish fourth, I don't care whether you leave it in, you leave it out, you're Paratici's the Don or Paratici's a con, wherever you are. Like, there are zero excuses, and there's only threats on the horizon. To your point, Alex, right? You've got Newcastle coming down the right flank.
Exactly.
We're like on a horse right now, and you've got Newcastle bombing up this way. You might have Leicester that's like dropping back or making a move, whatever. You've got Arsenal that's on our shoulder. You've got Chelsea that are ahead that might be dropping back. And you've got a chance. We've got a chance. This summer is everything. And I'll stand to the point that right now I don't have any reason to call Levy out. I don't. I know everyone has their own view on him. But if Levy fucks this up this summer, if he fucks it up now, then I'll be with that.
Well, one thing I do agree with you, Sean. And this is, again, no disrespect to Brian, because Brian is he says what he says about Levy, and I absolutely respect him because he does what he says. So this is why I have to respect him when I say this. I don't really care about what Levy does as far as I'm concerned. I don't use my energy on him anymore. You know what I mean? Because as far as I'm concerned, I'll still go to the games regardless. I don't know if I'm going to go to every single game like I did this season. That's why I was jumping up and down, because I was just relieved after all of that. You know what I mean? I don't know if anybody, I think Celios and Danny saw me, and I was just jumping up and down, just enjoying myself, because they were looking at me. I was like, "What is this? Is this Alex? Is this Alex?" I was like, "No, I was just enjoying myself," because honestly, the stress of this season, it's been so much. I think that was just relief, after winning that game. You know what I mean? I think also the end of the season thing was quite, very good as well. You know what I mean? It was very, it was very relaxing, and it was just good to see everybody smiling, and happy, because after last season with that last penultimate game at Aston Villa, that was night and day compared to last season. Let's be honest here. You know what I mean? So, but yeah, just for me, I forgot what I'm going to say now. Yeah. Sorry, mate.
Why should try to remember? I might as well say I do give a fuck what happens this summer, and the reason is if he doesn't buck his ideas, before I call my wife, I best call a good divorce lawyer, because I'll be extending my flight and be like, honey, listen, he hasn't done.
She's coming with you, mate. She's not leaving without you.
She's not staying the whole time. She's not staying the whole time.
She's leaving without you, is she?
Yeah. And I'll be like, darling, listen, I said June the 28th. That might be transfer deadline day, and then
wow.
Okay. No. Listen. He going back on it. Listen, he's just got to do it. There's no room for. My marriage is on the line here, Levy. So you fuck this one up.
My reputation's on the line as well, Daniel Levy. So fucking belt up, buck up.
By the way, just so people know, my marriage isn't on the line. My wife is very, very supportive of everything I do, and in fact, she'd probably be like, Brian, I think it's best you stay there so I can have some peace and quiet. But yeah, so no, but do you know what? Like I've said, Sean, and I always say this, and I've always said this to you off camera as well. When it comes to the financial aspect of football, there is no one out of the entire community that I'd rather listen to than you.
I appreciate that.
You, and I say it all the time, and I say it to you, because that's the way you think. When you were doing that little bit about the Norwich, the Burnleys, the whatever, I completely get that, because they can't carry on living off their yo-yos, and then they got to sell and buy and sell.
I think it's unfair. I think it's unfair. The FFP is unfair. It's dressed up as a way to protect. It's dressed up as a way to suggest that everyone's equal, but in reality, it's a way to protect the people at the bubbles at the top. And Tottenham are fortunate enough to be just about in the bubble at the top. But if I was a fan of Norwich, I'd spend my entire time talking about how unfair the FFP really is. It doesn't work out that way, but it is what it is. Sorry, Brian, carry on.
No, I was about to say, because you talk about, then you start speaking about with Leicester. Look, people put in the comments, what you got to remember with Leicester as well, is when we talk about their bubble bursting or whatever you want to look at it, is they can sell a Maddison. Look, someone said this in the comments. It's not me that deserves the credit for these comments. It's the person that wrote this. Like they did with the Maguire. They'll just sell a big asset because their scouting crew have already got the next 3-4 to go.
Yeah.
Look at Fofana. Fofana could go. Fofana is outstanding.
Yeah.
There's huge money that'll come in for him. But Leicester, before they make that move, they know the next. You look at it. Vardy has been number one there for.
No, you hope, and there's no reason to doubt that. But
Well, the prime example
it's
of it,
difficult to always find.
Yeah,
the
but
fucking
the
cherry,
prime example of it, yes, the latter one I'm about to say hasn't worked out yet, but I believe it will. Is they've had Vardy for a considerable amount of time, and he's done a fantastic job. It's a rags to riches story in football. But then they brought in an Iheanacho, who I loved at Man City and would have taken happily to be Harry Kane's deputy. And they had him, so they had two. And then last season, they were like, right, let's bring in Daka as well. So forget Liverpool. We all talk Liverpool, Jota and all the five. Leicester always have. They seem to be a step ahead. They know who they want. So Leicester, and like when they sold Maguire, they brought in Sionchu. All right, he hasn't had a great season this season, but that first season, he was outstanding. Then they brought in a Fofana. Then they find a Dewsbury Hall, sorry, a Harvey Barnes. And this is what Leicester will do.
Justin.
James Justin.
They will keep. Let's just say it's going to be Maddison. Let's say that's the biggest one that could bring in the most clout for them. They will know where that money's going, how that money's going before it's even in, and that's the part of the Leicester model we need to take.
Yeah,
we need to know our strategy. So if we sell this one's coming in, and what we have to stop doing is getting rid of the player before we bring in their replacement. The replacement should be in. You're the new addition, and now the new addition's out, you're surplus to requirements. Not you go out so we can bring this one in. These are the two fundamental things.
Did anybody know about Fofana? Before he came? No. Did anybody know about
N'Golo Kante?
Exactly.
You just need to say one name.
Did anyone know about Bentancur?
I didn't, as you famously know, Sean.
None of us really did. Like, he wasn't a name, was he? Did anyone know about Kulusevski? We familiarise ourselves with him, but we're not like nobody was a massive like. There was nobody last summer saying.
Listen, I understand where you're coming from with Kulusevski and Bentancur, right? But at the end of the day, right, the guy, was it Prodigy knew them because he bought them in already from Juventus.
And that's fair.
I'm sorry. I think Prodigy needs to do more, right?
I'm with you on that.
That's the benchmark. That's the benchmark of a director of football. Like I said, I think he's a bona fide head scout. That's all he is. Okay. Paul Mitchell banters him all day long. I will defend Steve Hitchen as well, because Steve Hitchen, he made his mistakes. This is where David got it completely wrong. And this is agendas, not just him, anybody, because they say about Steve Hitchen. I have to take some humble pie on that guy, because he could have got in so many signings, and because of Daniel Levy, and this is where I'm gonna go on Daniel Levy, he mucked up those deals, okay, and I think he got the trouble for it, okay. So I'm sorry, you know, he needs to do absolutely so much more and needs to step up. You know, he got lucky with Conte, he got lucky with Romero, he got lucky with Bentancur, and he got lucky with Kulusevski. All the rest has been a mess.
Yeah, I'm not saying. I agree with you, Alex. Like, first of all, to people, I'm not saying that no one's ever heard of the name Kulusevski or Bentancur. Of course, people would have heard of the names, but in terms of like, we're just talking about like, how did Leicester, in comparison, find Fofana? Fofana wasn't a nobody. Somebody somewhere knew about this guy. It wasn't like this Leicester coach, this Leicester, scouting guy went like plucked him out of thin air. Like, there's people that know about things, but there's levels, right? There's levels to acknowledgement. There's levels to recognition. But unfortunately, or fortunately, however you want to look at it, Conte's saying he doesn't want to take risks on people like Fofana that might have been a risk that became a fucking gem. Conte's saying this summer I want to buy tried and tested and proven names. So he would want to buy a Dybala, an Eriksen, a Martinez. He doesn't want to buy a Fofana that may become a Fofana or that might become a Solonga, like see you later. And so Like that.
Well, we agree, Sean. We agree on that because the thing is, though, he deserves what he needs to get anywhere at the end of the day. You know what I mean? Because the fact is, he's what's Conte's proved this season. When he's stuck to his guns this season. He said, "I'm going to play a 3-5-3, 3-4-3." He's stuck into that this season. He's only played it the 3-5-2 once or twice this season or something like that. And that's it. He's stuck to his guns about more coming in for Kulusevski, and that's it. He's not giving Bergwijn any go. You know what I mean? So you've got to respect the guy, and he's checked with the wing backs, and he's stuck to what he wants as well, and stuck to the two in midfield. That's it, and he's he knows what he wants. So for me, to me, he's got his principles. He's got everything there to make Tottenham a success because he knows what to do. So just back the guy. That's the thing. I think we're all saying now.
Back him. Back him. Yeah.
You need to back him. You need to back him. You know what I mean? Because there's nothing really else to say on it, really. You know what I mean? And
well, Cooper might have something more to say because Cooper hasn't said a word for about
sorry,
an hour and 20 minutes.
Yeah, it's fine. It's fine.
Sorry, Cooper.
Cooper was clean shaven at the start of this pod.
Yeah. And 12.
The last time he shaved, he was clean shaven. Yeah, no, it's like that. Go on, Cooper, how do you feel about it, mate? We're gonna wrap up soon, so mate.
I'm sort of lost train of thought. Is the how's Paratici been doing, or just the general setup at Spurs, or?
Yeah, it's the conversation pivoted from like Leicester to we're looking at Leicester's system, and I'm saying, me personally, I think that the Leicester system, whilst it's remarkable, I don't think it can be. I don't think it's sustainable to be able to rely on whoever these people are to always find the next gem for 30 million less than they sold the next or the last guy that was brought in at 10 million and sold for 50. And then they go and find the next guy who's 10 million and he becomes 50 and they sell him on. Like, this is what Leicester live off of because they haven't got a big stadium. They don't have, big money. They haven't got any commercial. No, there's not a lot of people buying Leicester City shirts, right? So
the difference surely is Leicester are doing it to get players to go in the first team.
But they have an amazing success track record of buying a player for cheap and then the player becoming a monster and then letting the guy go, problem. Right? It's a fantastic system. I just don't know if it's that sustainable. How many times can they consistently find these people? So
Sevilla have been doing it for years.
Yeah.
Seems to work for them too. I don't see a problem with it. If you're well run, you can do it. This is just the whole idea of getting it's the fish out of pool B rather than going for pool A all the time. Yeah. It's getting those ones that are quality players and just try and make them that little bit extra. But if they're not that little bit extra, you still got a solid squad player for a club like Leicester, which is what we've been seeing. I do think it is sustainable. They're not looking at themselves as we are now an elite team. They're looking at themselves as they're an established team. They're safe. They're well run, and they can push on and occasionally win something, which is what they've been doing. They got okay. It was outrageous with the league win, but
I'd be all for trying to buy their scouting network. I'd be all for spending money and getting those guys over to Tottenham. But
yeah, I mean,
I just don't see them being a threat.
The thing is, I think with Spurs, with Levy's idea of, Brian and I, we've talked about this loads of times, mate. Levy buying in the cheap youngster, trying to look to sell. It
doesn't work with Tottenham, does it? It works all.
No, of course it doesn't. Yeah. What I've heard about how some of the revamps going with the scouting network is things like we're going to go up into the northwest of the country. Start competing with the likes of Manchester City, Liverpool, Man United for the raw talent coming out. That's where you take the speculation. It's when they're very young. You bring them in, bring them through your academy. You don't go spending millions on an 18-year-old from a foreign country and expect them to suddenly turn from a £15 million punt into a £100 million player overnight. It's not going to happen unless you're incredibly lucky. Leicester don't do that, but we tend to try and do that. It's always been the same with Levy doing it. So let's see that monumental shift that we're hoping is going to happen with Paratici and Conte and driving it. Get quality players in. And we don't need to necessarily think ourselves, oh, we're up there with Manchester City and Liverpool right now. We don't need to go out and buy like 4 elite world-class players. We can actually go into that pot B ourselves and perhaps buy the player a little bit below that, because Conte will transform them into a better player.
Well,
So
exactly. Cooper, the way I'm sorry, I've just been trying to get in is because I completely forgot Liverpool played Southampton, and I'm looking at Liverpool. I blatantly got one eye on the Champions League.
Oh, really? Is there a game on tonight?
Yeah, Liverpool Southampton. It's 1-1 at the moment at Southampton. But if you listen to this team, this is where Liverpool have been smartly buying or tinkering with youngsters. Alisson in goal, a back four of I can never say the Greek name. Was it Skimas or however you say it? Konate.
Simakis,
Okay,
isn't it?
thank you. Conte, Joel Matip, Joe Gomez. A midfield of Curtis Jones, James Milner, and Harvey Elliott, and a front three of Jota, Firmino, and Milamino. And Milamino, you talk about competition and people don't want to come competition for places. Look at Divock Origi. Look at Milamino, who come to these clubs, don't say a bad word about the club, and do the job. And you hear that team, and that, do you know what? That's a decent team.
Yeah.
But it's scanted with little gems here and there that will go and get the job done. They can afford to rotate. So I mean, there's no Sane, there's no Diaz, there's no Salah for obvious reasons. There's no Henderson, there's no Fabinho, there's no Thiago. And this is a team
hopefully we'll be there, mate. Hopefully we'll be there.
Oh, no, that's what I'm saying. This is what we need to do. Liverpool go around picking people up rather than what we did. And what we did in January was quality over quantity. And that's what we've got to do. You look at that team. They've rested, 8 players? And that's still a Premier League contending team. And I know we've got a long way to go to get to Liverpool, but they just shown under Klopp you can do it with quality over quantity, and that's what we've got to do.
I agree with you. I'm just not sure we're in the position yet where we can. Every point matters, and we're fighting for it. But hopefully we can change that. I'd love to see it, man. I'd love to see Alfie Devines and Harvey Whites and that come.
Oh,
through.
You don't have to say the word Alfie Devine to me.
I know,
you know that.
I know how you feel, boys and girls. We're going to wrap it up though. It's been 2 hours and a half. It's only supposed to be an hour and 45 minutes. Let me just take the chance to say to everyone in the comments, thank you so much. And let me apologize profusely for anyone's comments that weren't pulled up. I was doing my best, but this has been the busiest stream I've ever had. It's just me by myself. And I haven't done one of these for a few weeks because of various reasons. But on top of that, ever since this little Tottenham resurgence, like the last stream I think I had like 40 people max that were watching, and there was 130 people watching most of the time today. So I'm so sorry if I let myself down or let any of you down by not bringing up your comments, and also to the people that put their super chats in. If I didn't do it the way I should have done it, I'm trying to learn, and I really appreciate it, and I'll do better. I also was super embarrassed about my inability to handle the intro the way I wanted to, which threw me off. I will cover, and I'll do the guitar next time, I promise. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to round it up. I'm going to give everyone their chance to plug their channels and put their channels out onto the links. And I'm going to give Coover his chance to plug his favorite stream. But we're going to start with Alex, mate. I'm going to put your channel in. Talk about what's going on your channel, buddy. And thank you so much for joining us.
Oh, it's a pleasure. Yeah, some good points today, actually. Some good points today. Fun and games as well, but some good points today. It's Alex THFC. I am doing a little bit of hiatus at the moment in terms of things because I've got priorities that I need to do at the moment. But I won't lie to you. There might be the odd video about certain things. That's it really. But it's Alex THFC. Hopefully have some content in the next couple of weeks or so, hopefully. And that's it. Yeah. Now the season's over. Now we can have a little bit of fun with it a little bit. So, maybe in the next couple of weeks or so, I would say. But it might be soon. You don't know. I don't want to promise and don't deliver. So that's it.
Mate, you're an absolute legend for coming on, mate. I was a bit nervous when you agreed and then Dave agreed at the same time. I wasn't trying to like orchestrate it. I just put it out there to a few people that I wanted to have on, and it turned out the way it was. But I don't think it was as crazy as it could have been. I think you and Dave need to just have like a solo show and maybe have someone who's a host that can ask both of you and just let you guys go, because it was difficult to be able to do that with.
Yeah, they need to get the UN in for that.
And respect Coover and Brian's time as well. But mate, legend for coming on, man. I always love your opinions, and I appreciate you coming by. Brian, I put Tottenham on tour in. What can everyone find? What can everyone find? What's going on?
Yeah, I mean, first of all, before I do that, I have to realise when you said something, Coover, if Sean was playing Wankety Wank on Saturday, his one would have been, Sean said his show was going to be this long. It actually was this long. Because I love it when you do this, Sean. Yeah, it was only going to be an hour and a half. It's been 4 hours and a quarter.
It was. I tried to end it off when Dave left. I tried to end it off on time, but then you guys were like, "No, we'll keep going." So we kept going.
Mate, the good thing is, and I think to remember,
this one's not on me.
No, but this is the thing. What you got to remember as well, and I've like, and we're all learning this as well. Coover will vouch for it. Alex will get to vouch for it. When the numbers are there and there's over 130 people listening to you, you got to stay on, because that we all do this for. Yes, we like to have our faces on YouTube, and yes, we like to have our voices heard, but we are who we are and do what we do because of the people in the chat. So when there's big numbers there, mate, you got every right to carry it on. Yeah. It was a fantastic show, mate. It was a privilege to be here on your first show, getting super chats.
I feel like it was I appreciate you saying, Brian. I just feel like I wasn't,
Mate, you are very, very. We're going to talk about this. I spoke to you about it. You're very, very hard on yourself, and you shouldn't be.
Yeah, you are very hard on yourself. I agree. I totally agree.
Like I said, you and me, when I first saw you, I thought you and me were going to be chalk and cheese. And now I can't imagine you without being in my life. I really mean that.
I love you. So, I love all you guys.
So yeah, getting back to the original question, which was Tottenham on tour. So what can they expect from Tottenham on tour? Well, I've started a new show this week, which is just very short 10-minute videos called Daigle's Digest. I did one today discussing the wonder that is Christian Romero. We have our Tuesday pod today at 10 p.m. UK, 5 p.m. Eastern with Nick, Barry, Sean, Phil, Grant. They will put on a show for you. So he'll be on there. And also, there's going to be some breaking news from Tottenham on tour.
Wow.
Breaking news on Tottenham on tour today. So
tonight,
looking forward to that breaking news.
Amazing, mate. Brian, well, I'll be there, mate. I'll be watching. I can't wait to hear it. I really appreciate you coming on, Brian, mate. You know, you're my day one, mate. I love you so much.
Yep. Straight back at you.
Coover, which show would you like to?
Tottenham on tour.
Only tune on to Tottenham on tour for the brilliantly smooth tones of Brian Ireland, though.
You're not the only one to say that.
He's super smooth, to be fair.
Yeah, obviously Brian there below. He's brilliant to watch any channel he's on. I'll tend to go with the channels now that just give me a bit of a giggle nowadays. This has been an exception today because we had a proper football chat. I'm not used to it. So I'll love getting on the likes of Bob Spur again this Saturday night.
Bob Spur
TV. Yeah, we're going to play another round of Wankety Wank because it's the only place you see it.
Bob Spur TV, ladies and gentlemen, in the chat. There's still 50 people in YouTube and still 25 elsewhere.
And I'm going to be really cheeky and ask for another one as well, because Shellside Spurs every time.
Yeah, I know.
Most underrated channel on YouTube, I think.
Yeah, they are. They're great. They're absolutely fantastic. Ladies and gentlemen, if you haven't already, in the comments, please hit the links to Alex's, to Alex THFC, to Tottenham on tour, and to Bob Spur, and also to Shellside Spurs. And of course, I'm so sorry. I haven't. Where's Irish Hotspur? Here we go.
And you've just got a super chat in from Will.
I know. I've got. Oh wait, there's another one. Hang on a second. One second. I'm trying to figure it out. And also the Irish Hotspur for coming on. I haven't yet done the. There's not a super chat was back a minute ago, wasn't it? I got it. It's from Will Stewart. I love you, Will. Thank you so much. I was just trying to get through everything. I'm going to come back to it. Happy 1K, you stud. Liverpool used to buy lots of low before Klopp and then shifted to buy quality. And in 2 windows, they're competing in the league. Let me ask you guys this. Last question before we round it up then. Are we out? Are we done buying Costco players? Are we now going to Sainsbury's, to Waitrose? Are we going to like Harrods now? Is this summer going to be a Harrods window, or is
We're
it
going to
going
get
to be?
Conte players in, bruv, because if we don't get Conte players in, bruv, I don't know where we're going with
But
this.
does that mean are we going to Harrods to buy Conte players, or are we going to?
We're going to Harvey Lidl. It'll be a bit of
Oh,
both.
Lidl, yeah.
Harvey Lidl.
Conte knows what he wants,
I love
bruv.
that.
He knows
Love
what he
that,
wants.
Brian. That's amazing. Harvey Lidl. A little
Sean,
bit of value, a little bit of quality.
I mean, Sean, like I said before, he knows what he wants. He knows what he wants 100%. You know what I mean? And like when you've got an elite manager, and he's elite, you know what I mean? Whether you don't like his football or not, or have a question about his football, he's an elite manager. You know, elite manager doesn't question their principles, never questions their principles. He never's going to do that. So just do what he wants, and that's it. The question is what's going to happen afterwards, after he leaves. Is there going to be a progression, and is there going to be a philosophy that we're going to carry on? That's the doubt in my head at the end of the day, and that's where we're going to have the questions at the end of the day.
I have doubts too, Alex. I have doubts too, mate. But you know what? I'm gonna back my initial because I have to be right, and if I'm wrong, it's gonna be I'm gonna have to hide. Like, God forbid, for example, that song that I failed to sing earlier, and I promise you guys I'll do it on the next show that I do when I'm a little bit more stable-minded. I will. But also, if I'm wrong about Daniel Levy, if I'm wrong about Norwich, if I'm wrong about all those things, it's going to be a horrible, horrible, horrible summer. But I've got to back it until it doesn't happen. So,
bruv, I said that. I've said we're in top 4 already, bruv. So I mean, I'm gonna get it all as well. But bruv, I get it every single time, bro. You know what I mean? That's why I'm on YouTube. You know what I mean?
It's part of the game, isn't it? It's part of the game.
Mr. Box Office goes on YouTube every single time, bro. Every single time. Don't do Twitter. Don't do Instagram. It's Mr. Box Office. Truth hurts, and you're welcome to it as well, bruv. All day long, bruv. All day long. You know what I mean?
Good question. Is there anybody here that thinks that we're going to fuck up against Norwich? I don't know.
This is what I love. Wankety wank again, Kuva. The show will be this long, but it will be this long. One last question, followed by one final last question.
All right, we'll finish it off here. Will Stewart, thank you so much.
I've got a great would you rather quickly if you wanted to.
Oh, go on.
What's that?
Go on,
hang on a minute.
Would you rather?
All right, last one.
Okay, would you rather win 10 FA Cups in a row or win the league next season followed by the Champions League the season after?
Option B
Option B all day long.
All day long.
So you're going to treasure that for the rest of your life.
FA Cups. Who gives a fuck about FA Cups?
Sure. It's you know what? Maybe I don't know what Kuva does that. The FA Cup to me and to Bob Spur is still as magical as it was in the 90s. It's still, don't get me wrong, do I want to win the league and the Champions League? Yeah. And that would probably be my answer, but it wouldn't be as easy as that. 10 years of winning the trophy, that would make us on 18. That would take us above the filth again as the biggest winner of that cup. You put that involved in it.
Maybe 10 years.
You know what? I respect your opinion on that. I respect your opinion on that. You made a good argument there.
10 years in a row. Do you know what?
I might have shot too soon on that one. Maybe 10 years is.
So no, that's the thing. Do you know what? Because you hit Champions League and the league, which would be again back to back to do it would be incredible. And again to rub it in the filth, we won the Champions League before you after 20 years. You tried straight away, but 10 years in that FA Cup. No club has done that. We're the only club to have won it. We're the only club to have won it as a non-league team. First one to win it 8 years. First one to do the double back in '61. Yeah. That is a fucking brilliant question, Kuva.
No one's done it. No one's done it 10 on the bounce.
It's a very good question, you know, because it's a tricky one, isn't it?
Kuva, that could be a poll on Twitter right now. I'm thinking
it's a great one to finish. 100%. It's a great one to finish on. Ernest Owuzu. Welcome to the show, mate. I haven't seen your name before. He says B, 10,000%. I said B, but now I'm thinking A. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to leave it there, though. To the guys in the comments, thank you, everyone who stopped by. It's been insane. It's the best show I've been a part of, and I'm blown away by the investment and the attention of your time that you've thrown our way. To the guys in the panel, to Kuva, to Brian, to Alex, and of course to Dave as well. I'm eternally grateful, boys and girls. I'm really sorry for my potential, my personal, like not being able to do the guitar. That I'm gonna lose sleep over that tonight. It's gonna really wind me the fuck up. But also to everyone that put in the super chats and the super stickers, Gaguma, Will, Dark Sun G. I think there was Mark, Cousins, DB, and there was a couple others as well at the start. I'm sorry I haven't got the names anymore from the top of my mind. But you guys are all, I didn't expect it, and you've blown my mind. Thank you, everyone, for coming by. And as always, guys, as always...
I'm going to say, I can't say because I've got it back.
Bye-bye.
Oh, yeah.
Mr. Box Office. And out.
As always, guys, as always.
The most athletic
Bye-bye.
thing of